What's up, slackers? We are live. Let me know how the stream's doing, because I have a feeling that my cable company is sucking it up. So let me know how everything's working. I'm just doing some pre-testing now, making sure memory's all good, etc. Let's see. Slacking as usual. All right, it says I have excellent connection, so what's going on, slackers? Let me know when you guys start hearing me. I know there's I have quite a bit of a delay, but what's going on? Yeah, it's actually happened, slacker. What do you think this is, huh? Greetings from New York. You guys are shut down, I hear, huh? I'm down in lovely Dunedin, Florida. How are you doing for the Corona vacation that pretty much everybody is forced into? So, I'm enjoying my time. I figured if I'm gonna be all locked up in my studio, I might as well have all you fine folks next to me. So, but yeah, I know I put up a couple, I don't know, what do you want to call them, polls, saying that we can do some 3950X also. So what I'm gonna probably do is have a stream up tomorrow. Figured why not, right? Everybody should be home. Should get some good activity and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see. But yeah, so I don't know. I figured as much that I was gonna do. I don't know. I was pretty much already set up for all the 10980XE, so I figured we might as well try to finish that off before we get into the AMD stuff. And it also gives us the opportunity to check to compare both of them. So what we'll do is we'll take like some high scores when we get it clocking pretty well, and what we'll do is we'll basically take it from there, and that way when we test the AMD stuff we can actually have a direct comparison, not just somebody else's what they said they got, you know, because yeah, that's just how we roll. So but yeah, we changed up I changed up a bunch of stuff this time. Usually what we would do is I had the normal backplate on the back. Last time we had so many cold issues that I figured it'd probably be better if we could use the heater this time. So it's not plugged in right now, but we have the heater, so if we need it, that way we can just roll it out and have fun, you know. So that's one part. The other part that I changed is, if you notice this pot right here, this is my buddy, his name's Travis, right? He's I think it was V2, V3. He's a famous overclocker back in the day. And this is his pot. I ended up grabbing it from him maybe about 2 years ago, and I told him, I was like, I want to bench with it because I think it's an extraordinary design. So this pot basically is drilled through the sides and through the top, but it was done maybe like 10 years ago. So the thing is this pot's so big, on the top there's so much mass that basically I don't know, it's just a beast. Like it feels heavier than the T-Rex I have. So what's up, slackers? The king of slack is going. So let me just grab the other one. We're running pretty hot right here at 51 degrees, but that should be fine. It's not going to hurt anything. We got some LN2 to put in there. Let me get the other one. And so you'll see here, this is basically the T-Rex pot, right? So what's different about this pot is it's actually drilled through the sides to create more surface area. Now, if you notice, the people like Roman, he's one of the cases. He started drilling from the side to increase the surface area. When you're putting more holes in it, you got to find a good balance. The one thing I love about this pot is that there's so much mass. There's probably more mass than even this pot is. The only bad part about this pot is that for things like Threadripper, it has a smaller base. So I really wanted to use this on Threadripper, but just not going to happen. So legit, this is the first time that I've ever used this pot, so I don't even know how it's going to work. I figured it'd work pretty good, but I guess let's find out, right? So from last time, I think we had some issues with the 10980XE, but like we found out that the 10980XE was actually probably better than both the other two 9980XEs that I have. So I still kind of want to test that 19980XE because with all the security patches and stuff, the 9980XE would probably technically be faster Because the reason why is you can actually turn off the patches. In the 10980XE, you can't turn off the patches, which is kind of a bummer. I've asked Intel, why not just add it? But they are also concerned with security, so, I mean, aren't we all, right? So, but yeah, the 10980 really clocked about 100 megahertz higher than the 9980XE, so I thought it would be better to go with the 10980XE. The other issue I had with the 9980XE was that basically, once I got to a certain amount of cold, I think it was about a minus 85, it would just freeze. When we're benching and stuff, we usually call that a cold bug. Now, most of those chips, you can usually bench anywhere from 100, minus 100, to minus 130. That one was minus 85, and to be honest, it was actually doing good for that, only the having minus 85. But to really be competitive, you really need to have, I don't know, more cold to be able to be used. So that thing, I don't know, I'm gonna have to play around with it and see what's going on. I don't know, I'll probably do that on my own time. Maybe I'll just do a video on that, and I don't know. Sounds like a good idea, because then I know it's kind of be boring to watch, so I'll cut it up. So I think it will be good. What are we running on temps here? Oh yeah, be nice to see. About 53 degrees. It's running nice and hot. So the other thing I wanted to do with this setup was basically to use, oh, now I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, so last time we didn't really overclock memory that much. So this time what I want to do is we're going to pump it to probably around 3800 CL1212. What's nice about the OC formula on the newest BIOS is that, I don't know if you guys know who Splave is. That's Alan Gobersich. I always butcher his name. I've known him for like 11 years now. You figure I'd get it right, but yeah, he was my teammate at MOA 2010, and then we also did the 9900K release with Intel at the World Trade Center. So, but he's a very accomplished overclocker, good guy, all around good guy, New York area. But yeah, he's added some profiles in there so that way you can overclock memory, which I pretty much love. You don't have to go and test each and every one. You can do that after, but he gives you a base to start out with. So if we go into the BIOS, well, I'll do that in a second. One of the reasons why I'm booted up right now is that I wanted to go and show you guys usually what we do to limit memory. So how do we get such high clocks? Like everybody usually wonders that. I know other guys do certain things on it, but I don't know. I haven't really looked to the extent. So I'll just show you how I do it. But so I'm probably going to have to get some more LN2 to keep this hot going down, because it looks like it's transferring heat pretty well. Again, this is the first time I'm using this. Alan can't even pronounce his own last name. That's probably true. So no, this is not the T-Rex. This is the T-Rex. This is a pot my buddy made that I think is a little bit more appropriate for this. I think it might actually push it a little bit harder than the T-Rex. So I like to experiment sometimes, and I figured, why not just experiment on stream and just have some fun with it? We're not really expecting to break records or anything. You never know. I haven't really gotten to really dial the system in. We could come close. You never know. I really think the 10980 might be lacking a little bit compared to the 9980. So, but yeah. So I guess just let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to do is a lot of the times people just set up to limit memory, and there's really two ways to do it, and depending on, yeah, V2, V3, K-Fin. Who was that, Keith Fainin? I don't even know how to say your name. Do I ever work with Everest Silicon? Nope, never heard of it. Might be interesting to try. Have I heard anything about the 1099XE 22 core? Haven't heard anything. I think with this whole virus thing that's going on, it's really limiting pretty much what we're going to see in the future. I mean, this is pretty unprecedented what we're dealing with right here. Right now, no one really knows what's going to go on as far as like in the world. Like, it's kind of crazy, man. If you look in the stock market's absolutely crazy right now. I've gotten a little bit killed in there. Hopefully this week is not too bad, because I know people out there are really struggling. So even if you want to donate, it's cool, but really, if you guys want to be a part of the channel and do stuff, really just going out and liking and subscribing is all you really need to do. I mean, you can also basically go down and obviously buy shirts and stuff like that. But I think right now, I just as long as you like and subscribe, maybe go over on. I'm very active on Twitter, so you can basically keep hating. I like that. It's pretty good. I always used to do like later with the 8. It's kind of funny. But anyway, I don't want to be too much like Roman, you know what I mean? Or 8 sacks. Or 8 packs, sorry. Excuse me. Mr. Ian Perry. But anyways, let's get into some overclocking. I hope you guys are all being safe. This is pretty much what I'm doing for my Corona vacation. I might do boat tomorrow. Or, actually, no, I won't do boat tomorrow since I'm going to stream. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Maybe we'll save the stream for Monday or Tuesday. I don't know. Let's see what goes on. Let's see how this stream goes, and then maybe we'll decide on what we want to do. But anyways, just make sure you hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Stepons1, STEPONZ1. And then if you want to, on Twitter, it's BeardedHW. So I have them listed in the description, so go for it. Seal, anyone from Europe. Go for it, man. You guys can talk it up all in the chat there. I don't mind. I'm just going to start benching, though. What's up, Mark? Nice to see you, broski. But yeah, so we're just going to get started because my temps are getting a little hot. I think the chip is just needs some more juice, if you know what I'm saying. So let me change this music a little bit. I have it on some free music, but some of them kind of sucks. So see if we can find a little bit better, if you know what I'm saying. Hold on, I'm going to have to change this up a little bit. Where did I go here? Almost there. Where the hell is it? I have a certain genre that I always try to pick to make sure. There we go. We need a little bit of metal. Let's see how this one starts. Whoa, I think we already played that, but hey, we're gonna do it again. Quit slacking and subscribe. I like that comment. Make sure you like. All right, so let me get some juice because temperature is pretty hot. So we'll pour some more in there now, and I'll just get some more juice. Alright, let me make sure I'm a little bit more organized because I need PCIe. Alright, so if you guys didn't notice before, I'm using a heater, right? Actually, I'll probably show you one easier. So basically, from last time, we were benching, we were just using the normal backplate. Now this is kingpincooling.com. You basically, on this itself, doesn't do much, just a backplate. Maybe a couple of years ago, he introduced what's called I think it's the KP Inferno. So this is actually an early version. You can't find a red version anywhere. Don't look for it. I'm the only one who's got it, so ha. But anyway, so then we got a thermal pad on the back. So underneath this current setup now, I basically have this exact setup. So, and what this is supposed to do is to keep the board from getting so cold so quick. So we don't want that to happen. That's like a bad thing, because then all of a sudden it starts messing up memory, starts doing a bunch of different stuff that we don't want to do. I don't know if my chat is not working, but it's a little weird. Not gonna lie. YouTube does some funny stuff. Alright, so Tim's human malware tip. Shove a thermal cover up your rear. Real-time thermal readings. Yo, Justicles, man. You're killing me, bro. Whatever you do, don't call yourself Doc Overclock. I hear it's trademark. Doc Overclock? Really? Nah, I'm the king of Slack. We are in a printer. Cool, though. Everybody is always weirded out by the thing. But anyways. LN2 chilling in the couch like a slacker. Liquid nitro on the couch. Classic. Yeah, it's all I need is it up just to pour it over. I mean, much easier. Depends on what voltage you can run your clocks at. You probably get max 4.3. Mr. Captain Planet. You slacker. You, Joe, promote KPX for EU. Yeah, so if you need to buy liquid nitrogen pots, my buddy on here, Seal, he's a distributor for Kingpin. And if you're in the EU and you need some hardware, if you want to get into liquid nitrogen too, check it out. Why don't you put out the link, Seal? That way anybody can access it. So I'm happy to plug anybody. Anybody who wants to get into liquid nitrogen overclocking, all about it. Let's see. Use your coronavirus snot for thermal paste. That's just you. I've been all the time, so I need it. Okay, have you got your dehumidifier? No, I haven't. I was actually talking, I was actually in Home Depot the other day. So a little tip, if you're looking for paper towels and stuff, go to your local Home Depot or Lowe's. Because what I found there is that they have a shit ton of stuff that other supermarkets might not have. So, little pro tip if you're missing, I don't know if they have toilet paper, TP, but hey. So, let's see. So, what else we got here? No, so, basically, no, I did not get my dehumidifier. I need to. I'm slacking. It's just how it rolls. But I need to get one. Got the notification like 15 minutes late. Yeah, I don't know what's up with YouTube lately, but I think they're slacking on what they're doing. So, who knows? Alright, what else we got here? The pink paste is good shit. I don't have any pink paste. Roman sucks as far as responding. So, if you go on his channel, make sure you tell him that I'm looking for him and that I need stuff. Because he's a pain. Alright, I don't know how you say your name, but where can I buy KPC pots? Well, if you're in Europe, you can go basically to a link that he's going to put up. Seal Too Fast is going to probably put it up. In Europe, or not in Europe, in Asia, I think you can reach him directly at kingpincooling.com. In the USA, there's a bunch of distributors like Performance PCs, I think is one big one of them. You can probably go on Amazon too if you want to look for the paste. So, but yeah, make sure you use my Amazon because I get a little bit to help support the channel. All you have to do is click. I mean, it's easy. Just look in the description. So, let's see. And I don't know how to say your name for that 10 bucks, but I appreciate the 10 bucks. Smurf paste is the best. So, where you're actually using Thermal Grizzly, I'm kind of out of the Smurf paste. So, we're just going to try that and have fun. So, a full 30-liter doer of at the bottom of your pool would make for one hell of a video. Yeah, we already did that, though. If you haven't checked out my one last video where liquid nitrogen versus boiling water, I'm going to have to do it again because the winds have calmed down quite a bit. So, but anyway, let's get into some overclocking. So the first part is we didn't really do memory last time. And the whole reason why is I wanted to figure out the chips first. I do the same thing all the time. There's no reason to really test memory at the moment. I just want to really, I need the better of the chip. Even if the other one doesn't have a really good IMC, but whatever. Oh, says, okay. So yeah, so the first part is, okay, how can you limit the amount of RAM? So what we do is we end up limiting the amount of RAM we have. Let me actually change views so it's easier to see. How much to shave your beard on stream? Never. You'd have to give me like about a couple 100,000, I think. I don't know if I can look at myself that much. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is basically can't talk. So what we're gonna do is limit memory. So if you see in here, let's go in here and play around before we get into that setup. So what I want to do is I'm gonna show you Benchmate. So we're using Benchmate 10.5 right now. You'll see in CPU-Z, I'm at base settings. I don't really have too much set. We are running hot as hell at 42, but that's because, yep, so we're at basically 47, and just 1,000 mem, and about 3,000 on the, what's it called, the cache. So what we're going to do is, before we end up jacking up memory, what we need to do is limit the amount of memory that can actually be exposed to the operating system. And what this does is, basically, oh, wish I could spell. Basically what this is going to do is limit the amount of memory accessible to the system. So what you can do is you can lower the amount of memory or that's active in the system, and you can overclock it more. So you can push the system way more. That's strange. My system just got a little weird. But anyway, So what you can do is you can go to the run command right here. Oh, let's not power down. So if you go run, you type in msconfig. This is the easiest way, but there's another way to be able to do it. So if you go in here, you go to advanced options, set max mem. What I usually do is set around 4 gig. The best way to go through this is to actually test and see exactly what you're doing. So don't just go 4 gig. Maybe go 3 gig or 2 gig or 1 gig. It depends on the benchmark that you're going to use. And you can also do it a different way. So what we're going to do is set it to 4,000. Now I'm going to also show you how you can see. So if you look here, let's take a couple notes here, right? So you have the size, which is 32 gigs, right? So obviously we have, this is A1B die, so they're earlier versions. Now, these are G-Skill Trident Zs. These basically are 8 gig sticks, so 4 times 8 is 32. So we have 32 gigs. Now if you go into Task Manager, you go to Performance, you'll see that we have, where is it? Now I forget. All right, yeah, you see out the total memory we have, right? So in here, we basically have we're using 1.4 of the 32 gig because I haven't set it yet, right? So what I'll do is I set it to 4 gig, and what we're going to do is just reboot, right? Now we're using a server OS, so the same goes for using Windows 10. So I wouldn't worry about just because I'm using Server 2016, there's no reeling. Seal, please put it up your link to KPC Europe. That way, people, if they need to get pots when they're in Europe, they can get pots. So, put tape around your pot before you're putting on Armaflex. I have a small amount of experience, but no issues. It depends on the pot if you want to wrap it. I usually don't wrap them anymore, especially this pot. This pot's massive, so usually I'll just put paper towel around the pot. But you got to watch out for it leaking and everything. Team Group, I haven't tried Team Group. I've heard they have some really good ones. I think Alan uses them. Really, a lot of the vendors are good. I mean, G-Skills happens to be one of my favorites. Thermaltake's coming up, but they're mostly Hynix, so we're gonna end up doing a stream with them because they gave me a bunch of modules that we were gonna play with. So I figured maybe we'd save that for the 3950X stuff because that seems to be pretty popular when it comes to memory clocking now. So I think what we're going to do is when I start setting up the 3950X and we do some basic tuning, getting everything set up, we'll do some clocking, we'll do basically CCD clocking. I know that was a request. But yeah. Yeah, with all the stuff going on in Computex, I don't know if you guys have heard yet, but I don't even know if it's... Really, I think it's going to be canceled. It's highly disappointing. We have one of the biggest competitions of the year with G-Skill. I usually go there for anywhere between 2 to 3 weeks. It's kind of shitty that it's not. We're not going to probably end up doing it this year. I'm hoping it's going to get delayed, but I don't know. We'll see, I guess. So, but anyways, so I just rebooted. I don't know if you guys are paying attention or whatever, but if you look in here now, when we go to performance. Remember, we set it to 4 gig. Now, if you see memory, look at that. It says 32 gig, right? Well, yeah, no, not so much. So, if you look at the total amount of memory, we're not actually using 32. We have like 1.2 accessible, but you'll see, I just want to go there real quick to make sure it actually even worked. So, another way you can go is if you go into CPU-Z. Bad luck with G-Skill RGB here. I don't know why you would have some bad luck. Maybe you're just buying the wrong bins. To be honest, you can be lucky and find in a lot of different bins. So, all right. So, here we go. So now, let me see if there's something else I want to show you guys. Yeah, we're at X8. I thought we were supposed to be at X4 on the GPU, but maybe I have the wrong slot. Who knows? But yeah, so I think the other one is system, if I remember correctly. I go through so many different operating systems, it's hard to keep up sometimes. It can be a little bit rough. So they don't show it actually here. Oh, okay, it says 1.2 gigabyte usable. So it's not 32 gig, it's only down to 1.2 usable, which is interesting. So, but now that we're actually using less memory, what we can do is we can overclock the memory. So what I'm going to do is go back in, Hold on. I usually unhook the hard drive. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the BIOS now. And now we're going to basically go through. Oh, 8. Yeah. Did I say no? 4x8. Oh, sorry. Never mind. I need to look at the chat somewhere because I have no idea sometimes what you're talking about. But anyways. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the BIOS and I'll show you different ways what we can get around, right? So what we're going to do, since this is older A1 BDI, obviously you can see this is the nice thing I like about the ASRock BIOS. Do you see everything here? Everything that you really need to know is pretty much like right here, especially when it comes to memory. One of the big problems when it comes to something with like quad channel, right? Quad channel basically is you're going to have 4 disks that go to the IMC, right? You'll notice that basically like 3950X is basically dual channel. Or if you go to a 9900K, that's dual channel. So that means you'll need 2 sticks for the maximum performance. Now, if you're going into something like Threadripper is quad channel. Then you get into like the big Xeon, the W3175. That is, was it hexachannel or something like that? So it needs 6. It's kind of crazy. But one of the biggest problems that you have when you're working with this system is that you'll... Oop, we're getting a little hot, over 60. One of the things you'll see is that when you start having problems when you're pushing memory, you'll see that the actual like display of G-Skill 8 gig right there, they'll start dropping out if you're having issues. Sometimes the IMC is not high enough, or you basically have voltages not set. Now the 2 main voltages that you're going to go through, they're not set here. So what I'll do is I have a profile that I already set up. What I was pre-testing, that's why I made the stream a little bit late. I wanted to make sure that you guys got some good info and some good stuff. I didn't want to do it really on the stream. So we're going to load this one. It's really not an LN2 one. It's basically 4 gigs with 3600 mem. But the thing is if I were to set this before I did max mem, what would happen is basically it could corrupt the OS. So a little pro tip, I'm going to have to do a video just directly on this. But one of the things I like to use is Acronis. So if you're going to start getting into memory clocking, you need to do something to basically protect your OS. Because when you start messing with memory is going to blow up your operating system. You can get it to the point where it's completely screwed. So one of the ways to get around that is to basically use a tool like Acronis. Now, Acronis True Image is one of my favorites. I highly recommend it. I probably should work out a deal because I will totally push their software hard. You can basically image any type of drives. You can go from like SSD to NVMEs. There's a lot of stuff you can do, and it's highly recommended. Omprex never had a channel drop. So it says, well, this is a good thing. So keep hitting OC. I'd be curious if you actually have a memory channel drop out. Encore and Apex both never had a channel drop on 1090DXE. So that brings up a good question. Come on, bring it in. Thank you, baby.
You're welcome.
So basically, we have, what was I going to say? So if you never had a channel drop, then I don't know if you're not pushing memory hard enough. But I know on 9980XEs, some of the 16 cores, the old 18 cores, like the 7980XE, the 796080, that was a big problem then. Basically, you'll drop channels like no tomorrow. Even going back to X99, it depends on how much you're pushing. And I'm not a fan of Ghost. So I'll tell you a fun fact. So between Acronis and Ghost, I love Ghost. I used to love Ghost. But then I started losing images all the time. And I mean all the time. It was starting to piss me off so much that I was like, screw it. I'm going to just try another company. I just want to try something because it's crap. So basically what I did is I started messing with Acronis, and I've literally been using Acronis now since probably like 2013. So it's good for everything. XP, 7, you can do so much more. So, all right, so let's just get into it. So some of the stuff that I changed, I'll show you exactly what is pretty much the main points for RAM clocking. So one of the cool things that I was talking about with about Allen's, so you see this DRAM preset. Now this is Splav's World Record Samsung B-Die. So this is a great place to start, especially if you have decent B-Die. Keep pushing. What about folding for Corona on LN2? Not a bad idea. Maybe we'll set that up because I have that KP that's sitting right up there that needs some love. I think it's like right here. Right there? Yeah. All right. So let's see. What is this? Are you a fan of UPS? Yes, I actually am a big fan of UPS. So basically, if you don't know what a UPS is, it's an uninterruptible power supply. And what that does is it can, depending on the UPS you have, they can be very expensive. What it basically is, it's like a box that has batteries in it. So what it does is it's in charge of cleaning the power. So one of the biggest problems we have in Florida is lightning, right? So one of the things that I do is to protect my whole system is that I'll put it behind a UPS. It's not full 100% protection. A lot of the UPSs that really provide all that good stuff are very, very, very expensive. And you also have to make sure that how much wattage you're using when you scope out what you want to get as a UPS. I highly recommend it for your daily systems to always use a UPS. It's because a lot of the times you'll have systems reboot unintentionally. Maybe you have power go off. What it does is it lets your system gracefully reboot, and that's great on a daily system and much needed. Over the years, we've done some. I've used to work in data centers all the way back until like about 2000. Most of the time, I work remotely now, but I used to do all the data center stuff. But yeah, we had UPSs galore. I mean, we ended up going into like where you have big UPSs outside, but there's a lot of different cool stuff. It sounded like you were talking about a delivery company. A UPS is mandatory in Florida. Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Sheriff. All right, so what we're going to do is basically go down into some base settings that I set. We're going to keep 100 base clock, meaning that we're not going to change anything from there. We're going to go right to 3600, 12, 12, 12, 24. Now, this is the default of what he set in his profile. So this is something that's great to just put as a starter. Now, you got to have good memory, too, so don't be surprised if you have shit memory. The other thing is if you're not on a 10980XE, as Keep Hayton was saying, is that with a 10980, you're probably you're gonna drop basically modules less than you probably will with older chips. Older chips don't have that good as an IMC, and that doesn't mean just because you have an older chip, you don't have a good IMC. It's just you're less likely, right? So a lot of times people ban and go through and stuff like that. But yeah, Sheriff, I remembered yours because I was calling you Sharif all the time, even though I like Sharif better. But anyway, so these modules are actually bin modules that we've gone through. They're XMP profiles 4000. What are we running at temps wise? We're still high. That's okay. We're baking that paste in anyway. So some basics, just 12, 12, 12, 24. Usually, like what I like to do is we're gonna test this, go into the operating system. So I'm gonna plug in the hard drive back again, and we're just gonna reboot. So this profile, I was thinking the same thing. Do you have to buy a UPS to match the wattage of your power supply? To be honest, you would probably want your UPS bigger. So you got to figure you probably want to put your monitor, if you have a nice expensive monitor, you put that on the UPS too. You want to basically look for quality. I would do a lot of more research. Don't just buy the shittiest one you have. Usually, the more you pay, the better quality you have, but that's not always the case with everything. So hopefully we don't kill this OS with the memory clocks. So now if we go into CPU-Z, remember if you want to go, I use Benchmate, so benchmate.org. It has a bunch of, pretty much everything you see here, you can bench. And you can basically do it with me if you want to. So I'm a huge supporter. I'm going to start posting on HWBot now that there's new ownership. So, but yeah. So if you look here, we're basically at 3800. CPU, maybe, remember with memory, you always double the DRAM frequency. So technically, it's not 3900, 3800, it's 3600. So 1800 times 2. The Northbridge frequency, like I told you before, is the mesh. So we're pushing pretty hard here, 12, 12, 12, 24, 241T. I haven't really tried 10980 for the first time. Now, the whole real goal is this, because I also want to do I want to prepare this system for 3D too. Not only do we want to compare it against the 3950X, but I want to start doing some 3D stuff. It's been a long time. I have some of the hardware, so I want to show you some 3D magic, because I know in 3D that I could pretty much hit top 5 pretty much at anything. So, let's see. What's going on, guys? If you're new to the stream, to support, please like and subscribe, because then you get to see all the slackness. So, a lot of people don't know is that basically I do consulting for working, right? So I do all software development, database development. I'm basically a jack of all trades computer guy. I've done pretty much everything in my career. I've done hardware mods, bunch of different stuff. So basically I work on contract level, and right now I'm in between contracts. I have some small contracts here and there, but for me making money, it's kind of shitty at this point, especially with this whole Corona thing going on. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to actually be doing more content, probably almost daily. My goal is to basically do maybe like 2 to 3 videos, maybe 4 videos a week. So I'm trying to figure out the format. I'm trying to think maybe of doing some type of vlog. That way you can see what I do during the daily. Because I'll do some work and then I'll run over to something else. I got tons of projects. I'm building an electric bike. I'm building. I have so many mods for electric skateboards. I do a lot of different things, and even now, I think electric skateboarding is probably a really good thing to do, because to try to keep your social distance from other people, to keep yourself and other people unaffected from the virus, going out in electric skateboarding is probably good to get jackass of all trades. I love this guy. Mr. Captain Planet. Slacker! But anyways. But yeah, so there's going to be a lot of stuff coming up, so you're going to want to like and you're going to want to subscribe. And plus, we're going to do streams of extreme overclocking too. So we're going to do a lot of different cool things. And then I might do some, I don't know. We might have to figure out what to do on a boat, because, I don't know. I did a boat day last Sunday, and I think, I don't know. I need some, I've been cooped up. Before you guys started going into this coronavirus thing, is that I've pretty much been cooped up for like a month already. Just basically doing my normal work. I was doing some big projects with some big universities and stuff like that. So, but yeah. So, anyways, let's get back into it. So you'll see now that I'm at I keep on thinking. I don't know why I keep on thinking 3900, but so I think it's because what we're going to do is we're going to try to reboot and go through. So instead of trying to kill our operating system, I'll show you guys a tip of how I kind of test memory. Now this works just for kind of basics, but obviously you got to get into the operating system to use it, right? What are you going on here? Yeah, the entertainment industry is non-existent right now. Maybe I should start a skateboard company. Dude, Boosted just went out of business, so which is crazy, because to be honest, they're pretty much my favorite skateboarder. We even have the scooter too, so I plan on doing videos on each, even though you're probably not going to be able to buy them, but I still think they're cool because you get to see a big-ass guy like myself riding a board, and I ride pretty hard, so it's pretty crazy. But anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to try to push the clocks a little bit more. So right now we're at 3600, 12, 12, 12, I think it was 28, CR1, or CL1, or CR1, can't talk today. Sometimes you'll see, I don't know if you can see it on the video, right now we're stuck at 62. Now this is usually an IMC thing, so what we're going to do is just going to try to reboot it quick. Sometimes when, there's a whole process that a board goes through, and we call it posting, right? So it goes, what posts are basically is, you're going through and doing the initial test to go through everything, right? So when you go through everything, maybe we're too hot. Yeah, oh shit, we're 60. Never mind. We have this thing called the OTP, which is overtemp protection. So when it's not hot, or when it's too hot, it basically stops doing stuff. So we need to start getting this cooled down. So far, this pot is pretty impressive how it's working. This is literally the first time using it. The first time I poured liquid nitrogen into it. So, ooh, that's a good idea. We got to start up a bearded folding team. Ah, good. I love you guys. You guys just put up everything I do. Skateboard sounds great till you fall and break something and end up in a CV infested. That is true. If you notice right here, I basically already was in a hospital, and basically I'm like the real life Wolverine. I got a big metal plate that goes here. I got several metal plates. I have that problem where I'm not really afraid of anything. So I just get myself in trouble by breaking things. All right, so let's see. We're gonna get it down to a proper temp, more that you'll see, and it should boot up in a sec. Or not. John, for the LN2 and great content. Love the format of the stream. Really informative. Also, stripped down OS vid. I know, you guys love... Here, let's undo this real quick. You guys, I know, love one in OS, stripped down OS. So, to be honest, I think we're going to have to do that. I have scheduled right now, I have to finish up the Thermaltake videos from CES. I know I've been late on that, but that was kind of out of my hands, so... I'm gonna finish those up, and what I'll do is I'll make a promise to you guys that I'm getting a video for you on that, because to be honest, I think it's probably one of the best content you can do, and I've done it many times. So the problem is I gotta go through and basically figure out what I want to use. Let's see, did we finally boot up here, or we're gonna be a pain? For some reason, my GPU likes to be a pain in the ass sometimes. So. Let's see, but I appreciate you. I appreciate that 25 bucks, man. It goes a long way over here. I'm gonna go. How did I get here? Random proud Levengoal. I don't know, but you're here. I don't know if you want to leave, because it's pretty awesome here. Had a bike accident, front teeth flipped. Ooh, that sounds brutal, broski. I don't know if I can handle that. If I mess up, dude, I had bad enough teeth issues before. So, all right. Let's go through. So one of the nice things about this board is that you can actually hit a button and it will go back into the OS, or not in the OS, but into the BIOS with all your previous settings. And now you have all your previous settings, but even though you're booted up as default. And what that does, to be honest, I think this GPU is probably causing the problems. For some reason in that slot, it's not very well done. My angled GPU looks weird. It's not really angled. I think it's just the lens that makes it look like it. All right, so let's see. We're having some issues right now. Been trying to boot up default. I have a feeling I might have to change out the GPUs because this GPU is kind of pissing me off. Because it doesn't look like, now that I'm stretching out memory, are we still 37? Let's go down to 30 degrees. Give it more like we're on water. Sometimes, a lot of the times... when you're benching memory too, IMC volts is a thing. So if the IMC is too hot, a lot of the times you won't be able to bench like you want to. Is it F2? So used to benching the MSI board. It's funny. All right, let's see. Let's take some questions while this is boot. Okay, we're back. There, let me just load this again. We're gonna load profile 3. Oh. Let me sneak over here so you guys can see what's going on. So you'll see we went back to default. I'm just gonna, let me make sure that all my settings are there. Yep, so 40, 25. We basically have 3600. All right, so we're gonna boot that back up again. I think we were just too hot. So this is, if you guys don't know what this is called the Galax Fish. Galax is a Chinese company. They usually have some type of overclocking festival, but it's in China, so you don't really get to see it most of the time. A fun fact is this one actually came from Wuhan, China. I don't know if you guys have seen my messages on Twitter and stuff like that. It's kind of freaky, to be honest. It kind of blows my mind that back in 2016 I went to an overclocking competition in Galax in Wuhan, China, and basically I got really sick when I was there. We were out hanging out, doing a bunch of cool stuff. And basically, I ended up getting pretty sick, but I had a blast. We ended up taking, I ended up taking out a bunch of guys. We all went out. We ended up going pretty hard. We ended up taking over this place. Back when I used to drink, we used to go, and we basically took over the DJ booth. We took off this whole place, and we ended up drinking all of their Coronas. Now that I look back at that, it's pretty interesting that this whole thing is going down. Because in 2016, I think it was December 18th or 19th, 2016, it was crazy. The other day, the Dow Jones went down all the way to that level back in 2016 in December. Crazy. Mind blown. But anyway, I just figured I'd give you a little bit of that piece. So ever since I've heard about this virus, is that it's been pretty crazy. It's actually I used to smoke cigarettes and I quit smoking cigarettes. So the last cigarette I actually have had ever was in Wuhan, China in 2016. So the other thing is I ended up getting the flu there. I don't know, maybe it's early stages coronavirus, but back in 2016 when I came home, man, flying back from Wuhan, you usually go from Wuhan to Hong Kong to maybe like New York, and then all the way back. It's a long ass trip. And I was sicker than a dog, man. I had the Chinese flu. It was crazy. Crazy. All right, let's take some questions. I'm going to bump up this and see if it posts. So what we're going to do is go down to 37 or go up to 3733 and reboot. Now, what I usually do is I'll reboot it and make sure it goes in post first before I try to put it in the operating system. Because if right now, if I were to put it in the operating system and say it's too hard, right? It could corrupt the operating system. So that's why you would use something like Acronis, stuff like that. You'll see, I don't know if you guys can see on the screen here, but we're stuck on 33. So that means it doesn't like it. There's a problem. And it's probably because we're too hot too. A lot of the times you need to go colder. Now, if you're running on a shitty loop and you're in like 60 degrees and you're really, really hot, it's probably not a good idea. Oh, look at that. So I put some LN2 in there and now we're posting. So it was stuck at 33. I threw some LN2. What that means is the IMC requires a little bit of cold so that way it can actually push the clocks more. So what we're going to do is we'll go a little bit colder. So that if you're trying on your water system and you don't have a really decent system, keeping temps down will help not just the CPU overclock, but it will also help your memory overclock. Because remember, memory is going directly to the CPU. It's talking to the CPU. So the cooler the CPU, the better the memory you're going to get. All right, let's see. So far, it's having a little tough time boot, but I guarantee you if we give it a little bit more juice, it will start doing better. Oh, look at that. It just booted up. So we're at about, what, minus 28? Or sorry, plus 28? Let's see. You mean it was worst time you went to Speakeasy and didn't make MSA? Technically, I did make it that day, so I don't want to hear it. That's a long story, too. Oh, see, it failed. So let's see. Let's go back in, and we're going to try it again. Sometimes what you can do is you can retry, keep going. So notice it's stock, but let's make sure that we have DRAM. Okay, so definitely 3733. Try again. So we have a button on here. It's called a retry button. And what it does is it basically will go through and keep testing for post. So I'm pretty sure it's the closest button to the power cable. So if you have the power button over here, the reset button, I forget what the middle button is. I think that's BIOS. And then you have the retry button. And the retry button, what that does is it keeps doing the same settings over and over. Because the hardest part to do when you're doing memory overclocking is actually going through and trying to make the system post. Once you get the system to post, so like if this goes into the BIOS, now what I'll do is I'll put the operating system in, and that way it goes into the OS. So, because we want to try to save our OS, we don't want to corrupt the OS. So that's the goal. Yeah, there is an option in here to basically keep it up, but then it kills the battery, so I usually don't do it. So 3700 seemed to prove pretty hard. Maybe it needs a little bit more help. Maybe it needs some voltage. Now the settings that I'm using here, let's see. The settings I'm using here are actually very, very, I guess you could say they're tough compared to doing some normal stuff. So you don't expect that if you're having trouble, if you're trying the same thing I'm doing at home, I have really good memory. So that could be an option. You might not have the best memory. Obviously mine I've gone through and binned them a bunch. You've seen when, like in the 18 core video, when you're binning stuff, you basically go through all your existing inventory and compare them. So I've already done that. I've already went through those memory modules to find really good ones. Now these are A1 BDI, so they're not A2s like the RGB ones. The way it went was basically you had A1s that were just regular, and then you had RGB ones. For the longest time, we didn't know if RGB was good because there was some bugs using some certain motherboards. So what we ended up doing, so we would always use A1s. When A2s started coming out and we found out what the issue was, overclockers started really going to A2s because really it's much easier to get than A1s. And some of the A2s now, I know Alan Splave was talking about the newest Neos, that they're pretty damn good. So, I mean, the G-Skill Neos, to be honest, I wish I had another set of them, because I do have... maybe we'll have to try that in the 3950X. Because I have a brand new set of Neos that I know Alan said they were pretty good, but maybe they're an older batch? I don't know. Let's see. I don't remember where I put them. What did it say they were over there? But if you look up here, I don't know if you guys can see from there, but I have the Crosshair 8 Impact. We're going to use that with the 3950X. And I don't know where I put my Neos, so I'm going to have to look for those. But I have a brand new set of Neos that I want to do a test on. They're pretty cool. Alright, so what we're going to do, I'm going to... Doesn't seem like it wants to boot. I want to try a different slot. And of course, my cable is too damn short. That's what she said. I've never heard that before. Alright, so we're going to try a different... For some reason, I don't know what it is that... Sometimes I have issues with the GPU trying to go in. Please tell me they are are 3800 C14. No, we're actually running CL12 at 3733. So this is much harder than normal. Let's see if that GPU helped. Because we're at 18 degrees, there should be no problem. Why? Look at that. Let's make sure it didn't fail though. So ASRock's pretty good when it comes to like OC fail. Yeah. So let's try it again though. Since we changed the GPU, make sure it's not the GPU. I just know I've had a bunch of issues with this. Ooh, you have the Crosshair 2 downstairs. I have a bunch of the Crosshair boards. They have been one of the favorites of AMD stuff. I think I've only used the Crosshair boards for benching AMD, and I'm talking about like a long time ago, if you know what I mean. Stig! Another 100 NOK. Thanks, Browski. He always gives me some good inspiration. I like that. Sometimes, I don't know, most people don't realize actually how hard it is to do something like this. Just trust me, benching and just trying to share what you're doing is kind of difficult enough. And then to talk through the whole process, it can be quite a pain in the ass. So, it's much appreciated and I love it. Do you muck with the memory subtimings at all? When your main OC goal is to CPU clock, do you just set XMP? I usually just keep it default and then I work my way. One of the good ways to try is to maybe set XMP and then start pushing down from there. So it's kind of difficult on these. Let me just check up a couple more voltages because it's definitely failing. And we're at 15 degrees, so let's see. So 3700, let's go over. I'll show you a couple of voltages. Are we up? Yeah. So right now I'm at 1.9. I'm going to try 195 on the memory voltage. So obviously memory voltage is going to be one of your main voltages that you're going to want to look at, right? What's going on, suckers? So 195, and there's these other ones, VCCA and then VCCIO. So I'm going to try pushing this just a tiny bit to 1.35. I'm going to dump both of them. Even on like 9900K or 9900KS or KF or any of those ones, these are the main voltages, VCCIO and VCCA or VCCSA. Even on those, I've seen like dramatic variances of what some chips need versus what others will go through. And that's why we go through and we basically try to find how to bin CPUs. You know, that's why you got to bin your components. So it's not always, you could be that lucky guy that basically got the best CPU like right off the bat, but most of us, when you're really going through this stuff, usually you'll end up finding shit chips. So I know for like, I've had some weird, over the years from benching so much, obviously we have seen a lot of hardware over the years. And one of the, I don't know, I think it was Haswell. So what is that, the 4770K? That whole architecture was the biggest pain in my ass. Because no matter what I did, I always found the worst chip. I bought chip after chip and I would resell them and go through them. Yeah, this is not working. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back. I want to see what's happening because it just seems, at least it's OC failing every time. but it seems like there's definitely something that's not happy. So let's go. I'm going to try, maybe it's too much volts. Sometimes they get a little bit hot. I'm used to the other ones where I usually run a little bit higher. So let's just keep what we had before. You really don't want to change too much. I probably changed too much there. Let's just try this. Maybe it's just VCC IO. A lot of the times, especially the one thing that I like that's nice from like on the ASUS boards, usually if you set auto, you can get like where do you start out. Like on this board, obviously it's not. Are we cold again? Oh no, we're good. A lot of the times, basically, you'll have issues, and you don't know where to start as far as what voltages to set. So basically, let's move over to the other one while this is going through. Bastard. That 33, if I wait long enough, that might actually boot up. There's a thing called slow post where it can take basically a long time. Nah, the RAMs are fine. You don't really have to put too much cooling on them, especially if you don't have... So the rule of basically with RAM is if you have no heat spreaders on it, throw a little fan on it, cool it off. If you have heat spreaders on it, you don't really need a fan too much. Depends on how much volts you're pushing, but usually you don't have that much of an issue. Yeah, my first 900K launch was real shit. Slept a fan, got it 900 like 8 months later, and my second has definitely been a lot better than the launch trip. Well, that's it. That's another thing that we could probably talk about is basically when you're going through. Come on, boot already. So the other technique is to actually go through and get mem. Is to basically go and keep on hitting this reset button. And what this reset button will do is we'll keep retrying. So let's see. Can we get it to boot? Here's $10 to go towards Red Bull so you can keep with the XOC systems. Thanks, Ross Q. Appreciate it, brother. All right. So what else we got here? I got caught one SATA cable. Had some broken plastic, not knowing from when, but still works. Dude, SATA cables, you know, over the years, I've broken a lot of SATA cables. Especially since I always say, you'll see me all the time, instead of me going delete, 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 I end up just taking out the hard drive. It's so much easier, and it should go automatically into here. All right, so we're having some issues. I don't want to play too much on stream with this. So what we're going to do is I'll just set back to what I know works. That's usually what you do is you always fail back. A lot of the times with this platform, because it's quad channel, when you start going up from 3600 to 3700, it's not necessarily needed. Your performance advantage, your scale is not as good. So let's load this back up. We're going to go back to 3600, 1212, because it is really, really tight. When we start going in, pushing more and getting colder, we'll try it again and see what it does. So let's do that because I want to get up and boot in. I'm going to play around. All right, let's take some questions. What do we got here? Sent you pics. It says, hey, recommended voltage for 4960X Rampage 4 Black Edition. Hit 44.7, 4.8. Sent you pics the other month. I'm not sure where you sent me pics because I didn't get anything, broski. But yeah, sometimes that's just your limit. So quality of chip, like I said, when you're binning chips, is going to make a difference. So if you're stuck at that 4.7 wall, might not be able to do too much. So, but I would try lowering some. So the trick is, especially for like a daily, if you want to have a good overclocking, what I like to do is I usually will start off at what I got, right? That I know what works. So like how I went back here. So I know that this works. I know that it boots up. So basically, oh, because we changed the GPU. Hold on one sec. Get that going. So what I'll do is I'll go to my base settings and I'll start changing stuff. So I'll change one thing at a time. One of the things that I do is if I have, say we're at 4.7, so I'll take you as an example. So right now you have that Rampage 4 Black Edition, which is a badass board anyway. That's one of my favorite boards for that, what is that, X79? I hit 6 gig a lot. I broke a bunch of records on that platform. But on that platform, when you're at 4.7 and you want to go to 4.8, take your 4.7 and start lowering different voltages. I think I want to say that there's one called PLL that you can actually lower, and it's not going to hurt your performance. Basically, what it's going to do is going to create less heat on the CPU itself. So what you can do is you can basically go down and start lowering all your voltages to try to keep the temps low. And what that will do is remember there's a balance, right? So when you're lowering the voltages, what that's going to do is it's going to bring down the temps of the CPU. So when you bring up the CPU, you can then play around. Yeah, I think you guys know what I mean. So basically, you want to do that, and when you do that, you can basically get more out of it for free. So it's not always just about pushing voltages. It can also be about lowering voltages, because obviously heat is the issue. So you reduce the heat, you'll get more performance. But anyways, so I'm going to go over some settings, and we got to go back over to this so you can actually see what's going on. All right, so what I was telling you before, again, Benchmate. Shameless plug for Benchmate. Benchmate.org. You want to bench like anyone, just download the big one and you can pretty much have everything you need. So if you go in here, I'm just going to open up CPU-Z. If you guys don't know what CPU-Z is, it's basically how we moderate things in the overclocking world. So how do we know that what we're getting is what we're supposed to be getting? How do you validate it? Well, besides Benchmate, for years we've been using CPU-Z. CPU-Z, you can just do a Google search and find CPU-Z. You can download it on any system, or you can just, it comes as part of Benchmate. More LN2. Yep, we need more LN2. So, but anyway, so CPU-Z is basically a validation. I always get the question all the time on Linux. Why don't you guys use Linux? It's going to get more performance. One of the biggest problems that we have is that we don't have CPU-Z for Linux. So maybe if you guys maybe do some comments, tell them that they need to do some type of Linux stuff. Maybe we can do some Linux in the future. I'm actually proficient with Linux, so I have no issues there. I think it would be fun. So yeah, anyways. So you'll see right now we're basically at 3600, 12, 12, 12, 24, 240, and 1T. So that's pretty tight for how we are. We can't seem to get any more frequency out of it now. I think as we go colder, we should be able to get something. So what I want to do is just do a quick bench. I want to make sure everything's stable before we start pushing down and going cold. You don't want to have, if things aren't stable right now, then they're probably not going to be as we get colder. So they need to be rock stable here before we start pushing in cold, because it's hard enough to be able to mess with the CPU in general. It's so much harder on liquid nitrogen, because normal things that you see that you normally have an issue with when you play with may not really be what you think it is. When you start getting into liquid nitrogen, you might have water in the socket, and that just creates so many different things that you have no clue what's going on. So what you want to do is you always want to have your system, you want to test on air and water first. Make sure you go through all the different efficiencies. I usually spend so much time on air and water before I even go to liquid nitrogen. That's definitely the way you got to do. So, oh, I saw a question here. Mike Hensley, doesn't hardware info on Linux do the same thing? It does do the same thing, but the problem is, so CPU-Z for years has been the go-to for benchmarking. So when we do validation, CPU-Z is the go-to name. Just because HW info has that info doesn't mean that it's good for validation, because over the years there's been I hate to say it, but there's a lot of big people that have been cheaters and they try to fool you. You'd be surprised, like Photoshop stuff. There's a lot of stuff that people have done. So CPU-Z is pretty much, there's still probably ways to cheat CPU-Z, but yeah. So what I'm thinking is that maybe in the future, maybe we have Benchmate on Linux too. Maybe that's an option. I'll have to talk to him about that, because I know everybody always asks me that. So CPU-Z for Linux is called CPU-G. Yeah, but I don't think, I'm going to have to talk to Roman or something, or anybody from HWBot who basically, because the other issue is not just having CPU-Z, but the other issue is having software, like, for instance, I'm using Formula Drive, right? I can change stuff in the OS. You likely be able to use certain Linux commands, but it's going to be different for each board, and I don't know what the support is for it. But it's basically just for validation. That doesn't mean it's not better performance or anything like that. So anyway, so I think we're good. We're only at 4 gig right now on the CPU. This is just to make sure that our temps are good, everything's good, memory's good. We're low on mesh, about 2500. We know we can push over 3K on this. But yeah, how about we just get started and get some juice and get it cold. Only problem is I gotta pull up LN2, so just give me a sec. All right. I'm getting more on me than I'm into the actual tank. I'm used to doing it righty versus doing a lefty, so I figure it's cooler for you guys to see if you can see a bit. Alright. Alright. We got some juice going. Juice is flowing. All right. All right. All right. Can you use wine for programs to adjust voltage? I don't know if I'd wanted to use that, to be honest. It could be buggy sometimes. I know it's gotten better over the years, but who knows? I love the moving camera thingy. Well, you're welcome. All right, so let's start getting cold. So if you're new to the stream, so if you checked out the last stream, one of the issues we had is that when we got cold, it pretty much went to shit. And that's because memory gets cold and all that. So we have this thing on Kingpin Cooling. It's a heater. So instead of using the standard backplate, this is what's underneath the board right now. You basically have something similar, but it's actually a built-in heater inside. Now, you can't get red ones. This is a prototype, the early version. But yeah, and then we have a thermal pad. So there's one underneath there. I got a black one. It's a release version. This is a prototype, so it's all mine. But yeah, so what this will do is it will help us bench longer. It's fairly good for streams. For max performance, it can hurt VRMs in a way. If it gets too hot, it can cause some weird issues. So, but what we're going to do is we're definitely using it for the stream. All it does is use one 6-pin, you know, on your graphic card. So I'm going to plug this in, and basically that's all I need to do. Usually when I plug this in, I'll go down to about minus 50 Celsius. So let's just hammer this thing. Now this, like I said before, I'm used to using the Kingpin Cooling T-Rex, right? So what we're doing is I'm using a pot by an old famous overclocker, V2, V3. Now he gave me this pot to bench with. I don't know, he probably gave it to me too, but who cares? I'd give it back to him in a second anyway. But he's an awesome dude. So this is one of the reasons why I wanted to use it, because I know this pot is going to be epic. It still needs a lap job. I want to do a lap job on that one. Obviously, I need to do a lap job on the 1090XE. We're going to do a lap job on the 3950X. There's a lot of stuff we're going to be doing. What are we at, 16 degrees? Oh, it's getting cold. I'm excited to see how this pot's going to work. Sounds horrible, doesn't it? What's up, all you slackers? All right, so far no cold issues. We better not at 10C. So basically our range of cold that we want to bench is going to be anywhere from minus 100 to minus 120. It depends on the CPU. Some are better than others. Okay, good. So we are on X4 now. So I didn't realize on this board that depending on what slot you were in, you can only get X8. So if you're in the last slot, that's X8. If I'm in the second to last slot, that's X4. So we might be able to get more cold out of it now. So you'll see in the link with where I have the thing. So this is how you know whether you're running X4 or X8. Before I was running X8 before I moved it. So, all right. So let's start. We need to go up to some basic clocks. I think what I'll do is I'll reboot real quick. And we're going to go over LN2 voltages. I got some epic. Is that coffee that's steamy? It's not coffee, by the way. Special drink. All right. So if you guys want to support the stream, I know it's a tough time, and I really don't expect you guys to buy anything or anything like that. Really, what you can do is basically just like and subscribe. I mean, that's pretty much it. Oh, look at this. Look at this issue we are having right now. So remember when Mr. Keep Hayton kept on saying that he never lost one. So you'll see right here, if you look at C1, DDR4 C1, we lost a module, which is not good. Let's see if we can reboot and go back in. So this is the type of issues that you start having. So to be able to see it in there is much better. I'm walking out behind the garage right now. You guys are crazy. I wish I could talk more, but can't. It's just how it is. But yeah, so you'll see that you will drop memory channels. So you need to basically go through and kind of figure out what it is. So I'm hoping there's no water in it or anything like that. The temperatures seem fine. Let's see. Let's try some higher voltage. I hate when I set the wrong voltage. So we're going to go... Now, this is not really recommended for daily. You don't want to be going 1.95 on your daily memory modules. It's okay for benching and doing stuff like that, but you don't necessarily need it. Oh, where's your Viking hat? I think we need some Viking hat. How's that? Much better? I feel like a new man. It's amazing. Because I live in Europe and sleep at night, so thrilled you are here. Loving your streams. I always miss out on Steve's ones. Yeah, it's tough sometimes. This is going to be a problem. So, C1. The problem is I got stuff all over, so I don't know. Memory's definitely not too hot. Let me try a little bit less memory. So this is when you start getting into the... Whoa. We had some issues there. All right, losing material is the most... Oh, dude, tell me about it. So, right now we're having issues. We're dropping memory channels. Now, this is one of the things that you'll... As benching memory, it's probably the most frustrating thing. And it doesn't happen so much like on the dual channel systems as much as it does on quad channel systems. It's a pretty typical thing over the years, like X99, X79, all those ones. Says, not meant to be here. Angela, OOP. If you're not meant to be here, then just come and stay and hang out with everybody. What is IO and SA? Those are voltages. You're now an XOC model. Mode? Mode, yeah. I thought he said model. I was like, I am pretty, but I don't know. I did get a haircut finally this week. I was due. No, I think one of the issues, let's try... A lot of the times it can be VCCIO. It can be VSA. So we got to figure out. You'd be great on the TV show Vikings. Drink the wrong... I know, I always drink the wrong cup. I know, I figure I missed my calling when in the Vikings show. I feel like I should have been like a shoo-in for that. Let's see if we're losing. It's pretty much like one of the most frustrating things when you're doing overclocking. Yep, still not there. Let's try VSA. Now, the other thing I'm going to try is basically just to try to go colder. Since we're at 25. Oh, it's so pretty. Because remember, we got that heater on. I usually don't turn it on till about minus 50. But I really don't want to create any water in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring it down to minus 50 and then we'll see what goes on from there. We might have to bench triple channel. Just how it is. Liked and subbed. Alright, Adam. I love it. Yeah, if you guys want to join on the stream. Yeah, you also see that. So see the memory channel? It's only 24 gig. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to boot it up. Hopefully there's nothing in the socket or the slot. Finns are good people, but Swedes and Finns are enemies. I'm just an enemy of anybody who doesn't like overclocking. I know they are voltage goofy. I want you to know what yours are set at. 1.35. Alright, slackers. I see there's a lot of current people there, but no one's liking. 146 likes is kind of slacking if you ask me. We need to get up to like 400 something. Ooh, I know that's actually... This is why I bench right here. is this sound. This sound reminds me of riding my motorcycle like 130 miles an hour, just like chilling. It gives me that same adrenaline rush. So we finally hit sub-zero. Let's check out some stuff. So let's go here. I don't want to play too much because of that stupid drop in channels. You'll see a lot of the times that when you start getting colder, you'll get drop channels. But not only that, sometimes when you push memory harder. Oh, it looks like I actually do have the 32 gig here. I'm wondering, it could be a bug inside ASRock stuff because it actually is showing 32 gig mem. Let's just make sure in here too. Hardware reserve. I'm so not used to Windows Server 2016. But anyway, let's do some benching. We're only at 4 gigs, so we're gonna get a base. Remember, this is with memory too. We're gonna start pulling down. Usually, when I pull down, I'll have a bench running, and then so that way we try to keep the paste good. A lot of the times, if you pull down too cold, it kind of sucks, and you'll end up basically killing the paste. So 3808 seems to be our 4 gig. Let's see exactly what clocks we are first. Alright, we're at 4 gig, 2500 on the mesh. So what I'm going to do is, instead of us going in here, ASRock's app, I love the board, I absolutely love their board, but I cannot stand the software. And that's usually the biggest issue with most of the motherboard vendors, is their software usually sucks pretty bad. Asus has tended to do pretty well. Back in the day, they used to really suck bad. But what I'm going to do, instead of keeping it going there, I'm going to basically go into the basically go into the BIOS and set it there. So you see, I'll just pop out the SSD, and it should boot automatically. Ooh, what do we got there? I saw some 0-0 action. I don't know if you guys can see it on the motherboard right there. It says 0-0. If you're a bencher, 0-0 is the shit thing to see. Sometimes reboots just suck. But yeah, 0-0, when that used to happen all the time, that used to mean you basically had a dead CPU, and nobody likes a dead CPU, especially if you have a well, I guess technically this is only $1,000 CPU, but they used to be like $2,000. You like when the 9980XEs and the 7980XEs. I actually killed one of my 7980XEs. It's a sad day to my dead homie. Now, oh, look at that. I can't stand that. I wonder if it's actually reporting that properly, though. Sometimes when you get with different BIOS releases and stuff, sometimes things are not what you think they are sometimes. So what we're going to do is we're going to do about 1.3 on the voltage. We're going to keep everything as far as those voltages. We're going to go over the Farbra. Oh, thanks for the 20 bucks, bud. Appreciate it. Ooh, I can't even keep up with the stream now. You guys are killing me. In a good way. So what we're going to do is we're going to start... Oh, what happened there? 1.3, right? So 1.3 is going to be the voltage that we're going to put to the CPU. Now, we're also going to go to... I think we were doing 1.2. We'll do 1.25 on Matt. We'll go 1.32. Screw it. We're going big time. Alright, the next thing, what we got to do is we got to go to... we did 1.3. Okay, the last one is... There's a big voltage that... Where the hell is it? Can't find it. So we have the fiber voltage. So 1.3 mesh voltage. And I'm having a brain lapse right now. What? Oh, yeah. So this one, sorry, I messed it up. This one's actually not 1.3. This is actually going to be 2.25. Now, this is not something you want to push hard on an air system. 2.25 is way too high. This is basically... So what happens with this type of architecture is all the voltages are managed internally to the CPU. So you have one big voltage that comes into the CPU. That is basically the input voltage. Now, when you start changing the voltages inside, what's going to happen, so say we change the CPU from 1 to 1.3, right? And basically what that's going to do is put more load. And when you have so much load on the input voltage, you need to raise that to compensate it, so that way you're not getting so much droop on the CPU voltage or any other voltages that are internal to the chip. So to handle that, we're going to go from the stock is about 1.8, we're going to go up to about 2.25, right? Yeah, I know I'm missing a channel. The problem is troubleshooting that is I might have to take it apart. It doesn't matter so much because we're doing basic performance, so we're going to see it. Yeah, we need to roll with these lags, boys. Come on, slackers. So we're at 1.3 volts, 1.3 on the mesh. We raised the input voltage from 1.8 to 2.25. Now, this is a base setting for LN2. Do not try this. Usually, you really don't need too much on air depending on your system and depending on your bench. Remember, by raising this, it actually creates a shit ton of heat. So you don't want to basically create more heat. Remember I was telling you want to basically kind of lower it and lower it. On liquid nitrogen, it's a little bit different. Sometimes you need to have more voltages somewhere just to compensate, to fight against, to try to get it colder. Because usually when you get colder, you get what's called cold scale. And sometimes you'll cold bug. Like if you saw my last stream with the 9980XE, it kept on cold bugging. I'm curious, now that we moved the GPU, if I retry that 9980XE, I might actually be able to get more cold out of it because it's on an X4 slot versus X8. All right, so we're at 225. I think what we're going to do is we're going to boot up at 5 gig. We'll do 50-30. All right. And we're going to plug back in. So we're going to boot up at 5 gig. Remember, don't try this at home. Minus 20 should be fine for that. Let's go to more juice. Now, again, this is a new pot that I've got from an overclocker. A famous overclocker that he doesn't really bench anymore. He does some really cool data center stuff. But, yeah, so this is the first time I've actually used the pot. So I really am not sure how it's going to work compared to my normal T-Rex, because really on this platform I've only really used the T-Rex. So it would be interesting. And then I used Roman's pot too when we were doing over at Steve's. If you don't know who Steve is from Gamer Nexus, you're probably born under a rock. Matthew W. Joe Mama. Fibra is most likely the reason they can't full pot. It's pretty much exactly the reason why you can't do full pot. So if you've noticed, on Intel, we're only going to be able to bench probably around minus 120. So I'm just going to make sure this is stable as we pull down colder. Now, the other issue is most people don't talk about that. And again, I'm a performance fanboy. I'm not hating on AMD at all. But this is one of the big things that sets AMD and Intel apart. At least for extreme liquid nitrogen. Now, on air, water, completely different. But on liquid nitrogen, we need all that cold. We can bench with 3D, meaning Gen 3 on the actual PCIe slot, at anywhere between minus 100 and minus 120. The problem with AMD, like a 3950X for instance, or TR for instance, if I set Gen 3 on the PCIe, it actually fails to Gen 1.1. So you can never, basically what happens is Threadripper, you can't bench 3D on it, which sucks, because I would love to do that right now. And again, I'm not hating on AMD, it's just, that's just how it is. Hopefully in the next 4000 version that they won't have that, but that's what I'll be looking at as an extreme overclocker of what I want and what I want to bench with. So, all right, so we're at 173 likes. Come on, guys, let's get to 200 at least. We got a lot of people on. We're slacking hard. We're running some benches. So what are we at now? We're about minus 34. We're going to start pumping that voltage. Remember, we got the heater on, so memories should be fairly decently warm. That could be a reason why we're dropping channels, too, that it's too hot. But we'll see. So we went up about 900 points, so about 47, 44. Can anybody, someone look up on HWBot and see what the record is for, I think it's like 9,000 or something like that? I don't know. So let's see, let's make sure all our settings are right. Remember, you can go to CPU-Z. I gotta install Formula Drive again. Again, this is what, okay, so we're at 5 gig. Memories, 3 gig. We're at triple channel because we lost one, so we have one slot gone. That's what I hate about quad channel platforms. We have fairly high VCCIO and VSA, but anyway, so let's see, what was I gonna do? Oh yeah, formula drive. So this is the problem that I have all the time with certain software. It just kind of sucks. So basically what I'm gonna have to do is, there's a small trick to this with formula drive, is that if you reinstall it, it basically goes back to working normal. So I don't know. I've asked, when I was fairly sponsored by them, to try to, I was like, give it to me, I'll basically rewrite it and do it, but unfortunately that did not happen. So all you have to do is reinstall it, and it should come up, and I should be able to change stuff. Also, shout out to the Beard Viking.
What's up, Slacker?
Alright, so that should be good. Let's start changing some settings. We'll go right to 5.1. What are we at? Oh, we need to get colder. Staying at minus 30 is so lame. It's like so 90s or something like that, you know? Watching you on lockdown. Thanks, Sack Baggins. I love that name. So many opportunities that you could use with it. Alright, so now you see it. So it's actually working. So let's just make sure. I think there's a couple things you can't do. I think it goes to voltage or something like that. I can't remember from the last stream. We'll have to look at it. Why not set the CPU load line calibration to the highest level? Usually to reduce the heat. What we found over it really, to be honest, it really depends on the chip. Now, I'm just trying for now. Keep hating. What's the actual, I know it's 599.2 R15, but what's the actual score? But anyway, with the load line calibration, is that it really depends on the chip. Some might like level 2, some might like level 1. So what we're going to try first is we're going to try level 2, and then if we get to a spot where we're actually happy with or not happy with, basically if we have a wall, we'll start trying the other ones, and then you can see. Damn, really want to get an XC, but LN2 is pretty rare to find here. LN2 is kind of a pain in the ass to find. Look around, look for a welding supply. Really, the most expensive part of it is really the liquid nitrogen dewars. A trick that you can do is basically to go on to what is it called? eBay. eBay is a good way to find them used dewars, but to be honest, you got to be careful with that because they're used for some pretty nasty things. So I highly recommend. I don't know, just be careful what you buy. But that's the cheapest way. I used to have 3 of those. These are 30 liters. They're good. I mean, they're still heavy now, but obviously I'm a big dude. That's how I got the arms. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the 30 liters tend to be the good ones. That's why Steve has a 31. I told him to buy. But yeah. So let's see. So we're at 5.1. Do we want to have this? You guys let me know. Do you want to run R15 or do you want to run R20? I'll run R20 right now just for the kicks, but what do you guys want to do for the stream? We just want to try 120 for now, or R20? A lot of people seem to like it over R15. I use R15 just because back when the X79 days, when R15 came out, I don't know. That's what I'd always used to use. So I hate when that happens. Now the whole room has liquid nitrogen everywhere. I guess it's appropriate, huh? I'm in the Middle East, so yeah. Oh, sorry, MR. Yeah, I know there's a bunch of people out there in the Middle East that actually do get liquid nitrogen. So if there's anybody that has some idea on how he can get liquid nitrogen in the Middle East, I wish I could help you, but sorry. Sorry, Slacker. But I would be interested to see, like, how you, I don't know. You have to see what you can do and how much it is. I would love to hear the info that you can get on that. Maybe put it in the comments sometime, and I read all the comments, so. Mike Hensley, both. That's really what I was going to do, but I just figured like what you guys like. I hear a lot of people like R20. I don't know. So quiet. What's the score for R20? So we're about 10-4. Now again, this is the first test, so I haven't really tested this chip that well. We tested it the other day, but to be honest, it was probably a really bad test on the other stream because when we were benching it, we benched it on the 9980XE, and we were playing around a while, so the whole board was absolutely gross. I would have to say, if you're going to bin LN2 chips and you want to go through each one, that it's probably better to use the heater, because then you're eliminating any issues that are coming with that. Because I think when we were going through them, we had a lot of issues with that. Anybody find out that R20 score? Or R15 score? Alright, so we're going to go try, let's do 31. So we're going to do update the mesh a little bit before we go CPU. I kind of want to run it anywhere. I've heard, so one of the big differences, I get this question all the time. What is the differences between the, say, the 7980XE, the 9980XE, and the 10980XE? So the real big thing that I found that, I guess you could say was most likely that's better is with the 10980XE is the 9980XE and the 109, man, saying these are just killing me. Basically, those two are soldered. The 7980XE is not soldered. I highly recommend one of those because you can put liquid metal on them and, dude, they run super cool. But the 9980XE and the 10980XE are definitely soldered, so they run hotter basically on air and water. But they're easier to bench with on liquid nitrogen. Yeah, I kind of forgot what I was going to say again. But anyways, so we're at 5.1. Oh, yeah. So basically the mesh on the 10980XE is supposed to be way better than on the older versions. So far, basically, from what I've seen, is that the memory clocks are about the same as 9980XE. They are chip dependent, so that doesn't mean that this is totally true, you know? So another chip might actually have a golden one, right? The other thing is the mesh is supposed to be really... What I think the most distinctive thing that's really different between the 10980 and the other chips is the mesh. So kind of like how, you know, how you have it in the 3950X, you have the Infinity fabric, right? The mesh is very similar. It's basically an interconnect. But when you raise this mesh, you're supposed to get quite a bit of a decent performance, but it's supposed to be easier on the 10980 versus the older chips. So let's see, we just jumped to 32. I don't know, let's play a little bit before I go too cold. Because when you start going too cold, all of a sudden weird things start happening. So we're going to keep it at probably around minus 50 right now. Trying to concentrate on too much. So we're at 33. Let's go 34. I think we set 1.3 on the voltage, so that should be able to handle it. Now we're going to try 35. I think 4 gig is probably what you really want to go for when you're on liquid nitrogen. I'd have to check, but I don't really remember offhand. So our previous score, now we're changing the mesh from like 3 gig to 35. Let's see how much of a difference it makes, right? This is the fun stuff when you're benching. It's not just all about going for scores. It's also finding out like what's, I don't know, just trying to find out stuff, right? So what did we get? So we jumped up about, what? 18 points. I know if you run it multiple times, it's just this benchmark does this. So basically, when you run it multiple times, the score basically queues up and goes. It's pretty bad on Threadripper itself, and that might be probably the worst one that does it on here. But all right, so far it's running good though. 3500 seems pretty good on mesh. So what we're gonna do is, oh, that's the best score so far. So what we'll do is, remember, we're at 5.1 right now, and we're basically at 3600 memory. So you divide it by 2, that's how it's displayed in CPU-Z. We're running CL 12, 12, 12, 24, 240, 1T. Now this, remember, before I was talking about is A1 B-die. So these are really good memory modules, so don't expect to get this right away. Now this is the default profile that Splay broke his world record on. That's what the profile is. That's one of the cool things about buying an OC board, instead of buying like a regular board. A regular board's not going to give you all these options. Like if you buy the Asus boards, you're going to get like my buddy Dan Kopp. He's had a bunch of profiles that he puts in there. So that way you don't have to try to figure out everything. It is fun to do everything, like to basically go down. A lot of the times what I'll do is I'll start out with XMP and start bringing it down, messing with the voltages. But dude, to do that, prepare on wasting like more than a week of time just playing around just to probably even get it to post. Just boot up and not even into the OS. So if you have time to kill, which pretty much everybody has right now because we're on Corona vacation. So basically, yeah. But yeah, let's get a little bit farther. Let's see if we can maybe try to hit that 4 gig limit on mesh, which I'm not even sure if it's possible. So let's check it out. What are you slackers up to? It looks like we're at 197 likes. You guys are slacking since we have double people on there. You guys need to like and subscribe. Now, I don't mind if you don't want to donate, which is cool because we're in a tough time right now. But the best thing you can do to help me out is to basically watch, subscribe, and like. And that's all you need to do. If you want to buy shirts and stuff, the best place to go is beardedhardware.com. I do your shirts. I basically can autograph them. I literally make the shirts. So I'm on a little bit of a back order on them until probably late next week. The whole coronavirus thing has pretty much screwed me all together. So, but anyways, let's push it a little bit more. You can you can also follow me I'm very active on Twitter. So if you want to go to beardedhw. If you want to do Instagram, I'm not so popular on Instagram. I don't know. I'm just not really that Instagramish, I guess you can say. But if you want to follow me on there, you can do it to Steponz1, STEPONZ1. That's basically my handle that I used to use on HWBot all the time, where I used to break records all the time. STEPONZ. Ooh, look at that, 4872. So we are seeing a nice improvement with mesh. So let's see if we can push up to 37. Now, I like to do this a lot where we basically keep on testing and testing. Let's find the limits of the whole processor. Just not like the whole part. Not a real channel. Disliked. All right, so we hit 215 likes. All right, slackers. Let's see if we can push that more. Let's go up into another 100, huh? Getting tertiaries just right, and what the 1 hour stable unclocks achievement points. So true. Comanso, I think you actually have a good point. I think technically it is A0, but there's actually... So with memory, say for G-Skill, they might have different PCBs. I think the original, they had AOs, but then they had A1s. But then I had a different PCB. I don't know. I just call them A1s for now. So I'm at like 1.95. We're having an issue right now. So what I was talking about before with quad channel is sometimes, like, you'll see this on air sometimes. Like if you look at the older 7980s or the 9980s, you'll see that the channel, if you download CPU-Z or if you download benchmate.org, you'll see that the channel, you really want to be quad, not triple. Something right now is causing issues, so we're not getting the full effect. I just don't want to spend that on the stream. I'd rather show some monster clocks instead of just doing memory stuff. I'll have to revisit and check it out. But we're at 1.95 volts on DDR, and then we have 1.35 on VCCIO and VCCASA. That's a mouthful. And we're running 37 on mesh right now. So right now we're just testing mesh. Oh, 37 doesn't look good. Yep, so far, memory seems pretty fine. All right, slackers. So what are you guys doing for your Corona vacation? I know it's not really a vacation. It's kind of forced vacation, but what are you guys doing? Are you guys having a good time? What's going on, slackers? Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to raise the voltage up a little bit. So instead of doing 1.3, oop, wrong one. And I mean this for the mesh, because we're trying to figure out what's going on with the mesh. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go up to about 1.35. I'm going to jump up the voltage too, because really I'm not going to limit myself there. And a lot of the times when you start getting into the, all the utilities that we're using, like, so you saw that the program I use for ASRock. Sometimes they have issues when you try to set certain things at certain temperatures. For instance, if you look on the board behind me, you have the X99 Champion. I was very well known for that board. We broke so many records on that. That had so many issues. For me to bench, I had to set so many crazy things. I had to set, I could only set voltages at certain temperatures, like at minus 50. I can only change I could only change certain things here and there, and it depends. If I was messing with 3D, it was 100 times worse. It's basically where I really honed in the skills of trying to figure out specifically what settings are needed and learning about the CPUs stuff. So let's try this again. So we're going to go all the way up to 35. We'll see if that voltage is going to help. So we'll go 36. It seemed to blue screen right away. So I'm just going to do 37. Oh, that's right. We're at 5.1 too. So that's all set. Let's go to Benchmate. Check out CPU Z. Make sure it's all set. It says bait into your stream. Does lowering voltages like PLL to help lower temps help on water? Actually, I just went over that. Basically, it is basically... so if you lower voltages like PLL will help. So the trick is to figure out like what your chip likes. So that's the whole process of binning, right? So when you go through and find out what exactly your chip likes, so usually what I'll do is I'll go through a bunch of chips, find the best chip, and then I'll take the chip itself and go through and see what exact voltages. Once I get to a certain stable, say like 5.1 for instance right now, I'll start lowering voltages. So maybe that will gain me more performance because you don't need to overvolt something. Why put in more power when you don't need it, right? That's when it comes down to basically efficiency. So yeah. So we're 5.1 on the chip, 37 on the mesh. Let's double check. You'll see an MB frequency. This is how you see also when you're doing the Infinity Fabric on AMD stuff. You'll see it come over here in the NB frequency. It's a CPU Z thing. So, but yeah. So let's go run R15 and then we'll run R20 and see what's going on with it. Our temps are getting kind of warm. I always forget that because you go minus temperatures, it's colder. I always mess that up. It's kind of funny. All right, so we're at minus 45. We're at 5.1, 37. We jumped the mesh voltage from 1.3 to 1.35, and it looks like that made a big difference. This is actually the highest score we've gotten. So, hey, let's go for 3.8. Let's see if 3.8's a thing, huh? You'd be surprised. I remember with the X99 platform, when you had the Gigabyte Champion right there, one of the biggest things was the actual mesh. We had, I don't know, back then I was sponsored with Gigabyte, and Gigabyte, man, had some killer ones. Oh, I think we're pretty much killed at 37. So far, we're just going to keep that, and basically what we'll do is we'll add on to that. Instead of going from 37 to 38 to 39 and spending so much time on that, we'll keep it now at 37. And what we'll do is we'll keep 37, and now we'll start benching. Instead of 5.1, we'll go try 5.2. We'll try 5.3, 5.4, 5.5. For us to be anything to be competitive benching wise. Uh-oh. Hate when that happens. What'll be going on here? No, I think we have an issue with memory. I mean, I think it's a given just for... We're going to pull power from the plug. A lot of times when it freezes and you can't hit power buttons or anything like that, just pull the plug. It works. Teach us, oh bearded Asgardian! Yeah, baby. Sorry I missed earlier, but thanks for going it over again. Much appreciated. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to entertain you guys. I love that you guys are here and you love to watch. You're the ones that give me inspiration for this. So, I can't hate on you at all. So, I kind of hate on this motherboard right now, though. What I might have to do. So what we're going to do is check some of these memory slots. I think it was C1. So, that one seems pretty good. We're going to pull the power plug right here. I wonder if it's pushing too much on here. So, these look clean. And what you're trying to look for is maybe if there's something dirty in the slot. You'd be surprised how much, stupid stuff falls into the slot unintentionally. So, we just messed with those two. Let's see if it boots up now. I have a feeling it's on the other side. Because a lot of the times, the VRM cooler could be actually putting heat onto the actual, what's it called, the mem heat spreader. So let's see what it's doing. I swear, benching is, most of the time is 100% troubleshooting. Oh, increasing headroom for CPU. Okay, so what's going on? Frozen mem. Yeah, actually, it's not frozen. Let's see what we're going on here. So when I have to put my Viking cap on, maybe the thinking horns? I think it's the thinking horns. I like dirty slots. Alright, so let's see, where are we at now? 79, D5. Let's boot, baby, boot. Is there condensation? There's actually zero condensation on the DIMMs. You'd be surprised. To me, I actually think it was the horns. Ah, look at that. We got all our channels back. Alright, let's make sure that we can boot. How about that? You'd be surprised. A lot of the things, sometimes just reseating the modules helps. The other thing that I've seen, especially with the, like, if you have a 7980X that's delidded, if you don't have the IHS on properly, a lot of the times you'll lose memory slots too. If you watch my Threadripper video when I said it's basically it doesn't boot, I know people thought it was a little bit of clickbait, but it's a very good thing that it is to troubleshoot for all your systems. So I like wet slots. You guys are killing me. All right, so yeah, it looks like we're back. So even better, now we got quad channel. I love it when a plan comes together. I think it's the horns, so I think I have to keep the horns like this now. What do you guys think? And then it gives me 0-0 on boot. You suck. Make sure everything's tight here. I swear, I spent most of my life just staring at postcodes. I wish they'd come out with something nicer. You're like 37, 62, hut. Who's depressed about not having sports, by the way? I don't know, that kind of affects me a lot. I don't know. It's kind of depressing in the States not having any sports, and I know in Europe, everybody's big into football and stuff. Man, nothing, nada. Make me go crazy. The horns did it. What are you going to buy next? And I'm not talking about toilet paper. Well, technically, so I'm whoa. Basically, one of my next projects is designing an electric bike. So I can't have Steve and Vince, you know, KP, have too much damn fun with electric bikes, right? So I ended up getting one, and I'm building it. I have to basically take off the motor and the wheel and redo a wheel. It's kind of shitty, but... Alright, let me see here. I think... I'm going to lower these voltages because I think they should be fine. 1.3. I just put them up just kind of as a base. Alright, what protein are you using? That sounds a little bit weird. Them that way just don't accidentally stab anything. What fun is that? We need to get colder again. To be honest, I'm not sure that I should have changed those voltages. Because now I'm hanging on 33. I don't know if you guys can see it from the stream. So basically, I'm going to have to go... We'll give it some time. So basically, what a lot of people don't know is when you started going through and doing memory clocking, for the longest time, I mean, 10 years ago, it would take forever to post. So if you see, like, when you're starting to do memory clocking a lot and you basically want to go through, the trick is to have patience. Because a lot of the times, what you think might have failed might not have actually failed. Unfortunately, I think this one failed. Oh, sports being canceled is crazy. I know, dude. I live in Dunedin, Florida. We have spring training here. So I was so excited to go to a bunch of spring training games. I was just going to ride the board over. And sure enough, didn't happen. Baseball's canceled. Sucks. All right, memory training. Yes, memory training is what we're doing right now. I think we're beard training right now. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I got a haircut. Got a little bit of a beard trim. Not too much, because you got to have the craziness for the beard. You can't be too perfect. All right, we booted up. Let's see, make sure we're not like stock, because that would suck. I'm going to have to get a refill of the juice, too. Nope, we're at 5 gig, mesh. Oh, no, that sucks. We're basically stock, it looks like. That was weird. I think it booted up to a stock profile. All right, memory training. I got 33 so much yesterday trying to clock on X299. What do you mean you got 33? Oh, 33. Yeah, the thing. Have you thought about doing a bearded hardware thermos? Nice idea, Ross. To be honest, yes, I have. But the problem is right now it's difficult to do anything. I'm so damn busy. I'm trying to get more time to basically to give you guys more content. I was talking about it before, is that I'm trying to look, I might start doing some type of vlog setup. That way, kind of, you can see what I do daily, and it'll kind of be fun to show you, like, me benching and doing a couple different things. What happened here? Ruh-roh. Make sure stuff's not too hot. That's weird. Starting to have all sorts of fun issues. This is what benching's all about. What am I drinking? It's like a health drink. Are you putting a beard on the electric bike? I might actually put a beard on the... So if you guys don't know, obviously I'm big for the beard. Everybody knows the beard. But yeah, I put beard stickers on everything. So I'm going to actually introduce a couple new beard stickers. Maybe put some Slack stuff on. So if you guys want stickers, just pay attention to beardedhardware.com. Because on there, so basically, I've heard some confusion on basically how you buy merchandise from me. Basically, beardedhardware.com goes directly to me. If you go onto YouTube and they use Teespring, that's a different thing. I still get some money for it, but it's not going to be the same stuff that I can do, and you can't get it autographed. I'll sign your stuff if you ask by going to beardedhardware.com. We have sweatshirts. The sweatshirts are dope. They're my favorite. I'm not, obviously, it's getting kind of hot down here, but... All right, yeah, we took it out. Yeah, she's not Dunsky yet. We could be having water. That's... Ooh, it's soaked down there. Let's see. Let's load... Oh, I didn't save my profile. So what we'll do is we'll go back over the settings. So if you're new here, we'll go back over the settings. Yeah, the camera's actually on a slider. Like, it's programmed to go automatically back and forth. I'm amazed how many people love that. I figured to give it an interesting dynamic. Let's see, we're going to go to 5 gig. Let's go to 35 on this, because we know it can do that. Actually, you know what? Let's do 30, because on air, I'd like to... We'll just do this as the base. I hate going too hot sometimes, because you never know if the paste cracks and it goes to shit, you can kill the chip. So we want to make sure that we're not doing any killing. So Farva vCore, we're gonna do 1.35. We did 1.35 here. Voltage, we're gonna do we'll just do 2.2 right now. Try to reduce the heat a little bit. Okay, I think that should be good. So let's see if we can get quad channel back. What temp are we at? Well, 15 is not good, so we need to keep it colder. I think we're gonna have to get some more LN2 in the other room, or in here. All right, let's see how this goes. Oh, why are you doing that? Come on, baby, post. I need to switch screens. All right. What's up, slackers? So if you're new here, we need some likes and subscribes. We got that 33 issue again. Because we were slacking. We got 520 people, but only 235 likes. Now, if you want to support the channel, the easiest thing you can do is just like and subscribe. Because then you can have that slackness all the time. And this thing sucks. So what are we at? -3. We need to go colder. -30. The one thing that's tough about this pot that I'm seeing. Remember, I haven't used this pot. I usually use the Kingpin Cooling T-Rex. This one takes forever to get cold, it seems. I should probably torch it to help it out. Basically, what happens is by torching it, you can help get the pot colder quicker. So let's see. Not only do you get to play with cold, you get to play with fire, too. Oh, this tank is empty. Shit, I need to get more tanks. We'll try this one. This one's a little bit lower. Alright, now what that will do is it will actually help the liquid nitrogen to soak into the pot. So that way I can actually control it a little bit more. That's if we're not totally screwed, because the setup seems like it's gone to shit pretty quick. We've had all sorts of issues. Welcome to benching. Where do you live? Oh, Florida. Gross. I love Florida. What are you talking about? I am Florida man. No, I'm a big-time Florida guy. I like Florida. Florida's fun. We have a lot of dumbasses on beaches, though. I'm thinking about actually taking a video, going out on the boat and checking out to see everybody. How many people are actually out anymore. Let's see. See if it's booting up properly. It's strange, it's booting up at 5 gig, but the memory clocks are at 36 or 2100 instead of 3600. So let's see, make sure it boots in, and then we'll reboot. Sounds like one of the cleaning tents. My God, our people are nerds. I'm happy with Chromebook and Mac for anything else. Gaming, quit gaming, and don't need no Windows PC ever again. Thank Christ. To be honest, I've never tried the... Oh man, we are having issues. I'm wondering if I'm too much on the mesh. Let's try. Change that real quick. At least it was Steve not messing with the safety of the blowtorch. Yeah, so if you guys haven't seen the streams that Steve and I do, one of the things that he loves to do is turn off my torch every time. It drives me absolutely nuts. Basically, there's a nozzle to control the power on it, and it basically... No, we're having issues, guys. I wonder if she's Dunsky. I have a feeling there's too much water. Pretty much feeling it right now. Usually when you're benching, you don't do so much talking and interfacing with, like... A lot of the times we'll just bench, and we'll bench so quickly that, like, maybe in the first half hour we're done completely. You dry and set up. So what I try to do is I try to show you guys as much as I can, but it's so difficult to do. Any bencher will tell you that to show it and to be able to, like, let you guys see what's going on is quite difficult. That's why I'd say a good 95% of the benchers just don't bench this way. So says I have a family in Florida and I've worked in Florida for a couple months and I have maybe met 5 people that are from Florida. Most were from New York like me. Well, that's the funny part too. I'm not originally from Florida, but it is funny that most people that you hear, it's very, very unheard of to see where people are from, like that a person is actually from Florida. But I do have a lot of Florida friends. Me, I'm officially what I call a Florida-fied. So basically, I grew up north and I moved down here, but ever since I moved down here, I'm basically Florida-fied. I love Florida. I'll probably never move from Florida. I love visiting every other places. I just don't like the cold. I like to be out on my Viking ship and hanging out, if you know what I'm saying. Oh, man. But anyways, so it looks like we're having some issues. I think what I'm going to do is probably, what did we say? We wanted to change maybe mesh, right? So I have a feeling we'll go a little bit lower here. See, now we're doing quad channel, so it's probably a little bit harder. So maybe it wasn't so bad to keep these voltages up high. I'll probably get the question on how high you can raise them. Again, it's chip dependent. You'd be surprised. I had a 9900K that basically, if you had... So, the nice thing about Asus boards, you've seen that I usually bench with, like, the Apex, stuff like that. The nice part about those boards, and this is the great thing about buying an overclocking board, is that when, basically, using that board, when you first get a chip, it can be very difficult to try to find out what voltages you need, right? So what I ended up doing is I usually leave it on auto on the ASRock or the Asus board, and what it does is it will give you a starting voltage to start with, and then what you can do is from there you take that 1.6 or you take that voltage. So for instance, on my 9900K, basically if I leave it stock and I try to do 4K memory, it's going to bump the SA up to 1.6. I can lower it in after, but it gives me a starting range, you know? This shit's driving me nuts. Let's see, we just got to get it to boot, and then it's all over from there. 1.84, 75, 59, 35, 13, 13 SA. Yeah. I'm starting to think... Let's see what it does. If it does 5 gig with no memory again, I'm going to be pissed. Nope, we lost another channel. Alright. So what I'm going to do is try to move these channels around like we did the other one. Ugh. What I'll do is I'll just try to re-click them in to the socket. Now this is something that will happen on air too in water. So it's not just something that is just liquid nitrogen. Nor it doesn't like the cold. Nah, to be honest, I actually do love the cold, but for daily living, I like to be out on the boat, and really if I owned a boat up north, you could only really be on the boat for 2 months out of the year. And I gotta have my Viking ship, my friend. How's the new Doom, everyone? I've heard everybody's likes the new Doom. We're gonna have to maybe do some Doom stuff and pretty much, I don't know, everybody make fun of me because I suck at games. Planet Side 2? I haven't installed and just never tried it. They're only 16,000 in New York. They have 50,000 beds. We can't be saturated. Who's fear-mongering? Anyways. Yeah. Oh man, we still didn't go in. Let's see. So F2. Sometimes just trying to get her to boot is all you can do. Alright, so we got quad channel back, but we need RAM clocks. 3600. What did we want to change? So let's go back to voltage. I think maybe it's too high on VCCIO and VCA. Maybe let's like try 1.25, 1.25. You'd be surprised sometimes on quad channel. Like for instance, like if you're gonna say you got really used to benching on 9900K, right? When you bench on 9900K, you can't really expect to do the same thing on like for memory timings as quad channel. Quad channel obviously is big difference. Quad channel, dual channel. Quad channel, dual channel. But yeah. Bearded Slayer. Alright, did we get a boot? Come on, baby. I'll be pissed too if it goes boots in, then I put the thing in and it doesn't go. Yeah, so it looks like we're still losing that channel, but I don't give a shit as long as we're booting. This is a great song. All SUNY have the Army Corps of Engineers and Nationalists working in converting temporary hospitals. What is the temp? Oh, yes. Thanks, broski, for reminding me. That could be why we don't get quad channel. To be honest, we've been benching for quite a long time now, about 2 hours. And probably over the amount that we probably should have been, but... I happen to love this song every time it comes on. Let's see. What are we on? Minus 30? We have to be careful on what temperature we also set stuff. Like I was saying before with the Gigabyte X99 Champion, if I if I tried to boot up or set clocks over a certain amount at minus 50, it would blow up. I don't know. We have more issues. You know what I'm going to try? We're going to try memory up again at 195. I think we had more issues, or much better stuff there. I run 2 of those in SLI in my main rig. I love Pascal. Pascal was an interesting breed. The one thing I don't like about Pascal is that NVIDIA basically totally cockblocked us on basically overclocking it. It sucks. It says when people hit 30 years old, we all pretty much suck at gaming. It's because all those little bastards always kick our ass. Buy a new Doom. I hope the new Doom plays well with my RX 580. Alright, what are we going on here? So we're having issues. We're benching 10980XE, and we've been benching a while, so a lot of times when you do liquid nitrogen, you run into issues like this where it's just kind of going to shit. I don't know, we might have to call it sometime. You can tell it by how long we've been running. The pot's pretty much totally cold. I don't know, we're going to have to try to figure out what's going on. Maybe what we'll have to do is break down real quick, because we have a base setting, so really all we need to do is push it. Maybe we just break down, heat up a little bit, and then go through. That's what I think we're going to have to do, because we're losing a lot of the times too, like if we're losing channels so bad, especially when we get colder, there could be actually water in the socket. So I'm a little bit worried at that point, at this point. Also, a nice spray with the CRC cleaner. I like to spray out the socket. Like to also spray down in all the memory gold pins and stuff like that. All right. Come on, just boot. Come on, overclocking gods, or myself. Let's see what it does. Why not stick RAM to 2100? Because what fun is that? We're trying to overclock here. Like I said, trying at the moment. Looking forward to Big Navi. I don't know, man. AMD has kind of depressed me when it has come down to the GPU market. I mean, they just need a lot of work. I wish they were more up on NVIDIA, because I don't like NVIDIA's practices personally. I don't like them locking down on what we can do. When Pascal came out, man, it was kind of like death to 3D benching, because they locked it down so much that we had to get special tools, we had to get special approval. Like, for an average guy that's trying to overclock, you're basically useless. You couldn't do like anything. Ever since then, I mean, there's been some stuff that comes out, but just in. That CRC electronic spray is the shit. Now, like I tell Steve all the time, get the red can. This one. The other one actually has too much like force in it, and that's why I killed that 3900X. Actually, I still need to fix that. That is a video we have planned. I know people busting about that. What's up, Hardware Numbers? So if you haven't seen, there's another overclocker named Hardware Numbers. Check out his channel. Like and subscribe him too. Here at YouTube, I just love everybody. I try to give shout outs to as many people as I can. Because we're all a small community here, so we gotta take care of each other. Let's see, what else can we set? Let me try, I don't know. We're gonna go up to 195. CL12 is pretty hard. Let's see. If this can't boot, then we're just gonna end up breaking down. Have you ever get that bearded hardware pot made? No. Oh, that's a good question, Joe Mama. So basically, I'm kind of pissed because Roman hasn't gotten back to me. I wanted his big pot, but I figured, what is better than asking for somebody else to have what their pot is made of? I'm gonna make my own pot. So I basically have a mill in my garage, which pretty much is for that. The only problem that I'm having now is to actually go in and to basically find the amount of copper I needed. Like, this pot is awesome, but it's not big enough for Threadripper. Threadripper is huge. It's just the die, or the IHS is monstrous. So we got to figure out, hey, we booted. Let's see what this is at, though. Did we just boot like that? It just magically happened? I love it when it's like that. Are you Zoltar? I could be. So we're at 5 gig. Oh, look at that. So we got quad channel and, wow. Sometimes overclocking is quite interesting. So let's see. Maybe it's a cold issue with the... So what I've seen before is if you push the IMC too much, sometimes the IMC alone has a cold issue. So I know... I think it was a stream we did with Steve. Hold on. I'm going to start getting this cold now because we've been kind of messing around too much. So let's see if we can just get it cold. I think I want to just set up a couple stuff first. Let's keep the mesh maybe about 1 point to about 35 for now. Because you got to be careful. Remember what I was saying before is that sometimes these tools don't work and they mess things up. So basically, even if you're doing well, it goes to shit. So what we'll do is we'll do a Cinebench R15 run. So this is 5 gig. Actually, we should probably bump it up to 5.1 because we were at 5.1 most of the time. Actually, we also weren't in quad channel before, so let's just run it and see what it does. So we need to get colder. This pot takes forever. I'm almost wondering, so this pot has so much mass in it, like it's huge, it's heavy. If I threw this at you, it'd definitely kill you. But yeah, it takes forever to cool down. I think it needs more holes drilled down in it, so I might actually modify it if he lets me. Because again, it's not my pot, it's a old famous overclocker. My buddy Travis, good dude, was nice enough to let me use this. And we need more LN2. Here, we're gonna go quicker. Damn it, when they start running low, it's kind of a pain in the ass to pour. It kind of bounces out of the tank. Alright. So what's up, Slackers? We're getting close to that 300 likes. Why don't we try to get a bump up there? Remember, if you guys love the streams and you want to support it, you don't have to donate money. All you have to do is donate your subscription. Or some likes, because that's what it's all about. And I know everybody's in a tough time right now. Some people might not have jobs, so I really don't expect you to donate to me. I mean, I could have some problems now too, but I want you guys to have fun, take your mind off of what's going on, and enjoy the overclocking. Like and subscribe. Let's see, we're at minus 40. Let's get it colder. So I'm going to do a run real quick. I think the setup is just shot. We froze. Yeah, system's done. Yeah, I think what we might have to do is we might have to actually break down and heat it up. Let's see, maybe it was just a little hiccup. Nope, 0-0. Yeah, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have to kill it. We're gonna have to break down, heat up. Yeah, so what we're gonna do. Yeah, so we're at minus 45. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna just tear it down. I'm gonna heat it up and then we're gonna run it again. So I guess you can. It's gonna be cool because then you get to see how everything's done. So here you go. Beardman, I am sub and I'm also give a like. All right, Paul Vanish. What's up, Slacker? It's much appreciated. Can you guys hear the torch too much? Is it a little bit much? I'm going to totally tear it down, take off the heater, and we're just going to torch. And I'll take some questions if you guys want it. We are definitely Dunsky for a second. But we're not Dunsky with the stream. We got to break up. Because I think what we're going to do is we basically go in there and heat it up. and then go back. Ooh, a virtual beer. Thank you, Hardware Numbers. If you haven't checked out his channel, he's an overclocker too. Give him a like and subscribe over there. He deserves it. He's a good dude. He's in the Italy area, and I know how tough right now Italy must be. I've talked to a couple friends of mine, and they're all pretty much in lockdown, and this is pretty much for them. All my brothers. Are you still setting up, or did you do a run? I was doing a bunch of runs. We were trying to figure out some stuff. So we were running a while. We were doing 5.137 mesh. We were really testing the mesh out pretty hard. Anybody notice something weird going on here? That was weird. I'm wondering if my probe is messed up. That can happen sometimes when you're benching. It's the most frustrating thing. So we might not actually be at the temperature that we think. Honestly, the marching on a pot is something anyone with milk can do. He can do it on the garage. It's true. Better luck LN2 overclocking with a 7, 9, or 1090 AXE. Oh, I pretty much had the same with all. I'm a little rusty on this one. I gotta get back into my, I've been doing a lot of AMD stuff lately, so I'm trying to get down. Man, you're in lockdown too, even in Bosnia. That's crazy, bro. Well, I hope you guys stay safe. Obviously, you see I'm in lockdown here too. Oh, nice. They can deliver LN2 at home. Nice. Oh, man, you're in Cali. I've heard Cali's been... I thought we were already at -3. See, it's crazy. As soon as I let off, it actually... Well, it was getting hotter, but... I feel like my probe might be damaged or something. You ever consider making the part that contacts the block and has the holes in it thermal contact with LN2 to make it out of silver? I think the problem with silver is that it's so damn expensive. To be honest, it's even hard to find a block. I gotta reach out to this other company because I wanted to build my own out of copper. But even to try to find such a big piece of copper, it's at least $200-300. Gotta make sure the probe is in there. No, the probe is in there for sure, but... Again, this is the first time using this pot, so... Alright, we're gonna take out... Start disconnecting stuff. Don't want to accidentally turn it on. Usually I'll flip the BIOS too on it. Let's see. Yeah, because this thing's going to be nasty. It's already getting a lot of water. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some paper towels. And obviously the blue paper towels. These things are the shit. They're basically like paper towels on steroids. They don't like rip easy. They soak up water excellently. You know how like you ever have cheap paper towels and they just fall apart? These are not those. Again, if you in the description, if you guys need to look at buying something, you can go and I have my Amazon Prime stuff on there. So just by looking at the link, man, you help support the channel. And everything helps in this time of need, if you know what I'm saying. Dust Till Dawn RTC, $20 for OC supplies. Thanks, brother. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do it. Every little bit helps. And if you guys don't have cash and you want to help, just like and subscribe. We're at 283 likes. Why don't we get that up to 300 likes, huh? I think you guys can do it. Quit slacking. Don't slack as hard as I do. Alright, so we're pretty soaked here. So you can see that the pot is obviously different, right? Let's try to get some of this water out. I have a feeling we have some like water in the socket, so we need to be careful. But what I like about these towels is, man, look. They don't break and they're soaked, you know? And you can use them to dry off in the pot. It's pretty nice. So let's see. Maybe we had a shitty mount too. No, man, looked pretty good. So one of the things that you can tell, so we have a lot of humidity here in Florida, probably more than most places. So if you look, ew, came out black. I think that's because I cleaned this with ketchup, actually. So it's actually burnt ketchup in there right now. It's kind of cool, actually. You would have to have the initial silver part cast by someone who can vacuum cast like a jeweler. Problem with copper is it gets nasty with all the moisture. That's so true. One of the biggest problems, if you've watched my streams before, is that a lot of the times water gets stuck in there and it basically ruins the control of the temperature of the pot. So what I do is, you usually see me with a compressor. My compressor's out in the garage, so basically I usually spray it out as much as possible instead of trying to dry it out. Now, it looks like we had a decent amount. I don't know, it doesn't look too good. So I think maybe what we're going to have to do is dry off and we'll give it another go, because we have all our base settings pretty much set. So I know what I could do. I know for future streams what we're going to have to do, because I really think this is going to be a good pot for 3950X. So when we do the stream for the 3950X, I think we're going to end up using this, but I think it's going to need a lap job on it, because I don't know, it just doesn't look that healthy as like my other pots. I mean, even this one still needs another lap job, but you see how nice that is? And see how big that is? I wish this one was a little bit bigger, because then I could use it on TR. But I don't know. Let's get this going. Now, a lot of the times what I do... Man, this thing is soaked. You probably had some water issues somewhere. Now, what I'll usually do is, when I'm done with the system, I'll turn it over and I'll try to see what's there. Doesn't seem like so much is coming off, so that's a good thing. My biggest issue usually is when you pull this down, move that out of the way. I don't know if you guys can see better this way. There's no point in doing video if you can't see, right? So let's see. Let's go over here. All right, so I'm going to take off the memory modules, and now I'm going to put those memory modules back in the same direction, but I'm going to inspect them, make sure there's no water on the gold points. Now, even dirt, like this one has a little bit, this is where the CRC comes in very well. And all you do is basically go through, clean it up a little bit, really just spraying it, because it evaps too, so you don't have to worry about it getting soaked or anything like that. Now this is in the link too. Remember, this is CRC electronic cleaner. Don't use brake cleaner. I get that question all the time. I have no idea why, but... And Steve always gets the black can because I think it's at the local hardware store. Get the red can. The red can's better. Oh, bestie, fellow Florida man holding it down in Miami. P.S. I have a mission for you in St. Pete. I'll message you later. All right, Nori, let's see what you got for me. I'm curious in St. Pete. So if you guys are new to the stream, again, let's get up to 300 likes. I know you guys can do it. What do we got here? Industry metal sales. They are a company in Michigan. Might work for you. They ship. You might have to compare their rates. Kingpin, I believe, used them. Nice, Nick Deluge. If I said your name right. Yeah, I was dealing with a company in Texas. I was trying to get a nice like 4-inch by 4-inch, I think, block. Like 4-inch, 4-inch, and 4-inch or something. And then what I'll do is I'll just basically mill it all out. I basically have an old ass mill, probably from the 40s or 50s, and it's literally hand cranks. So basically you could just pop it on, turn it on, and you can move it around, and you just do everything manual. Instead of me trying to program shit, I'd rather do everything manual. We don't do automatic overclocking here, we do manual overclocking. Let's see. Hardware numbers, buongiorno. I am Go Fins. It hurts to be a fan. I had a piece of towel in my RAM contacts and couldn't figure out why it was crashing. Lesson learned. Fake man, that is a great thing to say. So, if you guys didn't hear or read what he said, basically, sometimes when you get paper towels, when you're putting the mem in the slot, sometimes it will stick in there and it will cause crashes, like random crashes. You might think it works, it might not. So that's one thing you want to be careful of. Oh, we got a lot of paste going on here. So you'll notice on the setup here, I put tape around the CPU, and I put this, the reason why is I didn't want water to get in the socket. I'm trying to limit that exposure. Because water in the socket just causes nothing but problems. It's a big issue when it comes to trying to do stuff. Alright, so we're going to clean off the paste here. I don't know, maybe we need to try some blue paste, huh? I think I might have some somewhere. That stuff's like gold, man. I think that stuff is going up faster than the economy is. Or going down, whatever. Let's see. So we're cleaning it up. Alright, so let's pull this tape off. And looks like we're pulling some insulation off at the same time. That sucks. Come on. Of course, the painter's tape wants to go to all my insulation. Bastards. I don't want to ruin my insulation. Because it does work. Ah! I think I killed most of my insulation, so I'll have to redo it. But yeah, so we put it around the CPU, and that was to try to limit, you'll see there's a lot of cracks and stuff, just even if you look at it. So you kind of want to go through and check it out, but yeah, throw that out. And I'm going to clean it up a little bit more. Try not to get paste anywhere. One of the biggest things that you'll run into is that when you're trying to clean your CPU or removing the system and then put in a new system is that paste seems to go every frigging where. And you don't want that. So your best thing to use is CRC. So if you ever get paste in the socket, CRC it out. It's as easy as that. I'm going to have to do a video on it because I laugh when people say use toothpicks and shit. You don't want to use toothpicks. You'll kill your shit. There we go. Alright, let's see. Did we have water in the socket? Ooh, looks like it. We did. So if you look, I don't know if you guys can see on the CPU, but it's dirty, like all around. So that could be causing some issues too. A lot of the times when you're dropping slots, could be the CPU too. So I think a nice cleaning on there. Let's remove this memory first. See how that is. This one I'll get rid of. It's dirty. A lot of times I'll use the paper towels. I hate wasting so much, so I try to use the to clean it up after as we go and bench. I'll also keep them in an order. A lot of times when you're bending memory sticks, you want certain memory sticks in certain orders, like better ones closer. Usually they'll have a lower RTL when it comes to memory clocking. Alright, so I'm going to inspect it a little bit. Alright, now a nice good spray. Now I like to clean out the socket all the time too. Make it look pretty. Do the memory socket. There we go. We'll also clean the pot up. I think we need to clean the chip more. I'm going to spray the shit out of it. Hold on. I'm going to knock this thing off. Let me see if I got more spray. Of course I got more spray. I lost my damn horns. Alright, we're going to take a break from this for a bit. Oh, this thing makes my head sweat like crazy. That's the catchphrase now. Got paste in your socket? CRC it out. How easy is that? It's true. Most people try to complicate it, and they end up screwing up the pins and doing everything. Whew. I swear I dropped like 20 degrees now that I did that. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to clean the CPU with CRC. What do you mean you're glad the camera isn't speeding back and forth, not? Come on, man, it's actually going back. It's just really slow. I can set up basically percentages of how fast I want it to go. I find if the faster you go, the more, kind of gives you a little agita. Like, I don't know, it's kind of funny. All right, so we hit 300 likes. All right, slackers. Now let's see if we can get to 400. That would be even more impressive. I think that would be the first stream to hit 400 likes during the stream. So if we can try to make that happen, let's go for it. Come on, slackers. All right, what I'm doing now is just cleaning up the CPU. To be honest, I probably should have cleaned it before we started benching there. I kind of left it in there like a dumbass. I do dumbass things too. There we go. This one's kind of slacking now. Use this one. I guess I must have lost the red thing. That's okay. So basically all you need to do is just spray the shit out of it. And you can see like the paste comes off like naturally. You don't even have to do anything. That's why it's so easy when you want to clean the socket. Yeah, I don't want to make you dizzy with the camera. It's on 1%, so it should be pretty good. Right, so we're cleaning up. Need some more paper towels, though. All right. Where did I put that? Oh, there it is. Alright, before we put it back in, we want to make sure it's nice and clean. It's looking good. Alright, so we'll pop that puppy back in. This is the one problem. My hands are too damn big. You know how many times that I've bent pins just trying to put the CPU in? That's what happens when you got monster ass hands. Big hand life. Alright, so CPU is back in. Everything seems good. CRC evaporates, so you don't really have to worry about too much. Usually what I do is I'll do a shake. Try to get everything off. Let it go. Alright, so now we can start. Let's start with the tape. So what we're going to do is we're going to tape around. And this is basically on the system. What we want to do is tape around the CPU. You see how many edges there are? So what happens is, like on the pot a lot, you'll have water that just runs off. And what you can do is you can basically mitigate where that is. You don't want to have pooling. You want to basically have your CPU in a bed of water. Because that's what happens. Alright, so we're just going to do a nice tape job. Try to block off so that way it doesn't get water in the socket, because it really almost like channels the water in there. So we don't want that to happen. So this is how we mitigate doing it. Now, one of the things you want to be careful when you're taping is you don't want to create an issue where the pot is not flat onto the chip itself. So you want to be you don't want to use too much tape, and you want to be careful where you put the tape. There we go. Now, I think the last I hit was maybe 5.4 was on the 9980. So far, we only really tested mesh. We never really tested top clocks. I'm pretty sure that this chip should be able to do 5.5 pretty easily. I think when it comes down to, that's probably the, I guess not average, but decent chip. But let's see. Hopefully we don't have the same issue that we had before, so. A lot of benching is just basically trying and trying and trying and trying and trying and trying. So the more you try, the better the bencher you are. The more you test. That's all you have to do to be a bencher. Is to bench, 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 bench. What the hell am I doing here? I used to use a funny time. Used to basically say, less bitching and more benching. Because you'll have a lot of extreme benchers who are really bitchy, I guess. You people are going insane in here. Why not use non-paper-based tape for this? It doesn't really matter. The tape's not really that big of a deal. A lot of the times you have to be careful is when it gets so cold, a lot of the times the tape will like get all messed up and you have to pop it off. So, but yeah, so we're all taped up. That's just to help the channel the water. Other than that, it's not too big of a deal. Let's go clean the CPU and then put some paste on. I'm almost out of that stuff. Clean it for fingerprints and stuff. My OCD goes crazy with this. Like, it has to be good. Well, we got some more spray on it. Right. And we do number 2. Speaking of number 2, do you guys have toilet paper issues? It's crazy how you see in stores, man, when you can't find any toilet paper. Like, I don't understand why people rush for toilet paper more than anything. Stay safe. How's the toilet paper situation? Alright, so let's see. What paste are we going to use? Let's go back with the cryo because I have a ton of it. I probably need to do some KP. Thoughts on putty versus plasti dipping? One of the big things that I don't like about, what do you want to call it? The eraser, of course. Alright, so that one's done. I hate doing that. Problem with benching so much, man. We go through so much paste, it's ridiculous. I think I just need to create my own paste. Alright. So now we got paste, and usually when you have your paste, put back in the container and seal it up, because otherwise it dries out and goes to shit. It's a pro tip, and it happens with all of them. I don't care who says. TB for the bunghole. Truck bed liner might work. People will die, but with a clean butt. Yeah, people are so dumb. Don't forget the thermal sensor on the pot. Yeah, I know. I was just checking that before. That should be good. I think we're good there. All right, so the next part. So, oh, that's dirty. I don't like, I'm just gonna have to put some new stuff on. We'll use this. So what I'll do is see how the paper? You can go 2 ways. One makes it longer, one makes it shorter, right? So I'm just gonna rip it up and I'll stick it in the air. Gonna do it a little bit different this time. Try to protect memory as much as I can from water. Don't think it was too much of an issue, but see how this works better. This will catch if water falls off the pot a little bit better. So try that. This one. Remember, you want to be careful when you put paper towel down. You don't want it to mess up the mount between the pot and the chip. I've seen a lot of guys do this and totally butcher it. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure you have a nice clean mount. Because technically benching is probably about 70-80% mount just in general. So if you're getting a good mount, then you're going to be successful. Let's see. Now this is to help catch water too, and also help seal the CPU. So, I don't know if you guys, yeah, you guys can see pretty well. And then we put the pot on. So what I like to do is put it down a little bit, squeak it, try to get all the air out. A lot of times how I have a good mount is I'll try to pick it up, and if it doesn't pop off and it picks up the board, it means it's likely a good mount, because then all the air is out of it and it's flat. So let's go. We'll try it this way this time. Pot's moving around. I need to make a better bracket for this one. The trick is you really want it to be flat and straight on the pot. So what I'll do is just do finger tight real quick. Do like what you do with a car, you know. Go from one side to the other side. Right. Now on these chips, you want a pretty decent mount. I go pretty hard on them. You don't want to do too hard, and you want to be on. You want to be careful. You don't want to be doing too hard on like a 9900K, or actually, to be honest, like a 6700K. One of the biggest issues is when they went from Haswell to I forget the name of the architecture, basically Z170, is that actually I like that better. We're gonna take that and shove it in there between. Hopefully it creates a little bit of a barrier. That should be good. Running out of paper towels. We'll use this one. All right, slackers, we're at 315 likes. Let's see if we can get to 400. Come on, slackers. We'll break a record for the stream. To be honest, the stream actually already broke all records we had before. All right, let's put the rubber band on. Come on, I want to get a good run. I want to do at least 5.5. Need to get some longer cables. All right, so we're almost there. We're almost back. Putting this, let's see, getting a mouse. So what do you think we're gonna get for clocks, guys? Oh shit. There we go. So what do you think we're gonna get R15 at, huh? I think we're gonna do at least 5.5. As long as we don't have any more cold issues. Cold issues are the devil. All right. All right, so we're booting back up. All right. We're getting there. We lost a bunch of people, but that's okay. You gonna sell any of those other 10980? So I only have one 10980. Nori. I have two 9980XE, but I still gotta test them. Let's see. All right. Not bad, actually. Temperatures seem better than they were before. Maybe we had a shit mount. It happens. Trust me. From benching so long, I've seen a lot of shit happen. All right, so we're at 28. Nice. Go a little bit harder. I think I should keep it still. A lot of the times when we go cold, you want to make sure you're not moving around the pot. What happens is you break that connection, because you got to figure you're dealing with instant cold. So you don't want to try to break that thermal interface, because then you'll do what's called a crack, which means the paste will freeze and you're basically not getting a good conductivity between the pot and the chip itself. What do you mean F? There's no F. Damn it. All right. And we're going cold again. All right, let me see what these settings are. Now, we're going to go a lot quicker than we did before. Right. So we're going to try torching, doing a bunch of stuff, and we need more music. How can we not have... All right, we're going to start over on the music part. I just love this song. Actually, is this the right one? I don't think that's the one. All right. Football is the devil. Like and subscribe, slackers. So let's see if we can try to hit 400. That would be a record for our streams. Sweet, getting better. So let's get this puppy cold. Put this puppy down here. Make sure we can boot. It's amazing when stuff actually works, right? Really, dude? All right. Why does it take so much to post? Come on, come on, come on. I can only play so much. So one of the things that sucks about YouTube and streaming is that if I put any type of music, I basically get screwed. So I pay for Epidemic Sounds. So basically this is off of Epidemic Sounds. So yeah, I wish I could play some of the metal stuff that I like, but it comes down to basically getting demonetized. So unfortunately, I can't do it. Sick of code 4F or 7F. What are we at anyway? That's 3. All right. We might not be cold enough, so let's just push it. Remember, we're booting up at 5 gigs, so. And pretty high voltage, too. Don't mix up your bottles. I don't know if you guys have ever seen, but when I do the bearded dragon, memory is not liking it. The one problem with this pot is I don't think it's fast enough. We might have to drill some holes in it. I'm listening to Rob Zombie, perfect for the apocalypse. Ain't that the truth? It's pretty crazy. If you guys are into sports and stuff like NFL, it's kind of amazing that Tom Brady went to the Bucks. We're so used to having a shitty team. I really, my first thought was that the world's ending when I saw that. And I'm not really that much into football, but I'm kind of into it. Corona's supposed to close down everything, but that ain't stopping, okay? Can't get any work done. Alright, still... Let's see. Still no good. Alright, we're going to keep on going colder. Alright, 330 likes. Come on, slackers. No, I didn't plug the heater in yet. I'm going to plug it in a little bit. I'm waiting until it gets down to minus 50. See if we can get this puppy to boot. A lot of the times, if you're having issues booting and it's memory related, if you mess up, you still do. Brady won't save you. To be honest, I don't think anything can save the Bucks, right? Yeah, not good. I think I'm gonna have to play with memory more. Something's weird with this box. What are we at? Still only minus 30? Let's get down to 50. Getting there. Colder, colder. Need more LN2. Let's see. Right. I'm getting there. Let me check something. It's one of the reasons why we have multiple meters. Let me change the view over for you guys. Let's see. So that one says minus 46. This one doesn't have a battery. Minus 45. Seems all right. Always want to check. Zero, zero. All right. We still have that 300G thing to get started, Joe. Now that I'm locked down, I'll sort it out. It sounds like good, bro. Yeah, we definitely need to get that 3000G stuff going. Can you LN2 the memory? Is it even possible? So here's the thing about memory, right? A lot of the BDI does not like cold. So it's not impossible. You'd have to bin for cold. And to be honest, most of the BDI, even if they're cold, it really still doesn't matter. Having issues. Micron Rev E, of course. The little mempots are cute. I actually have mempots up there. Last time, later, Joe. Gotta go run an errand. Later, Justin. Thanks for coming and slacking along. Where's the fan you normally put on the pot? I have the fan right here, but it's not making a difference at the moment. Gotta figure out why we're just going 0, 0. Oh, wow, we're cold. Is that true? Yeah, something's going on. I think I wonder if my probe's broken. Because if it, look, now it's at 110. So 110 is definitely not going to work. So we have some issues. I have a lot of issues as it is, so. That could be why we're having issues with cold. Because 0, 0 is usually a cold bug. All right, what are you doing here? So usually what happens is you'll be able to boot. We already hit cold bug, so that's not gonna help, but yeah, see now it boots because we're under minus 90. So the whole issue we had before is because we were actually too cold and didn't know it. Life of an overclocker is pretty shitty. Actually, it's a lot of fun, but sometimes it takes forever. Ooh, DDR3 BBSE. I miss those days. Holy iceberg. It's getting there. Alright, so we're at 78 degrees. I'm glad I figured that out. There's got to be some issue with the probe. You'd be surprised how much this stuff happens. Come on, boop, 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 boop. Oh, I think I reset the BIOS, so it's going to take a bit. Colder than a woman's heart. I love it. Alright, slackers, we're at 331 likes. Come on, let's break the record. Come on, I don't think I've ever had 400 before, so let's go. Let's go, get some 400 likes. Come on, likes. Alright. So we're gonna load 3. Alright, so we're going to go to base settings that I had for liquid nitrogen. I should have saved this, but obviously I didn't. So if we go to voltage, this will be 2.25, should be the max. We'll keep 1.9. We'll keep 1.3. Farva, we'll do 1.35. 1.356 is fine. 1.35. Alright, so we're at minus 69. So we're going to plug in the heater. Probably should have plugged the heater in already, but hey, that's how we roll. Slacking like a mofo. Where's the other one? Alright, we got the heater plug. Oh, I probably got a cold bug right now. I'm gonna have to fix my damn... That concerns me about that probe. Could be causing the reason why we have some other issues. Still kicking. Morning and 47 would be good for Mosi. Yeah, the 4000. What I've been hearing is the new Neos are pretty on point. So if you want to go for like the 4000 Neos, I think they're pretty good. Look at that. So now we got quad channel and everything. Son of a... Let's save this one. I'm going to save it right over it. So that was our issue. We're actually going colder than I was. That's crazy. I hate when that shit happens. But it does. Oh, we're getting some water on here. A lot of the times you got to be careful too. So right here, this likes to ice up and condensate. And likes to create ice, but sometimes you'll get water. You don't want water in here or in the pot, because then it messes up the conductivity between the liquid nitrogen soaking into the pot. So you want to be careful. So you'll see me. I'll switch between these through a couple of them. Did we go too cold or something? I really don't like this probe thing. I might have to do another one. And that's gonna kill the stream. Heat up a little bit. This is why you got to really pay attention to what settings you're doing. As far as like, because I think that's the issue. I can't set settings too cold, so I have to keep them warmed up and then pull down colder. Of course, we went from booting to not booting. It's so frustrating. Didn't Splave buy all up the Neos? I think so. Bastard. No, I know a bunch of overclockers were buying them. I have a dual channel kit that I got from G-Skill that I need to test. I haven't tested them yet. I think it would be perfect for the 3950X, but I also want to go through. You'd be surprised at what cheap memory is. Toilet paper craziness. A lady at Walmart had a bunch in her car. Almost said, "How dirty is your ass?" I think that's probably a good answer, because these people that do that shit, it's absolutely beautiful or awful. Nano fluid. What is he talking about? How much do you guys pay for? Result of him using used blocks. The O-ring on the CPU did not seal and it did not leak test. He was running on the garbage nano fluid. Who are you talking about? Have to mute you for a bit. Our president is speaking. Let's hear some bad news. Well, I hope you guys have the best of luck in Italy, man. That's why this puppy didn't get it to boot. I didn't realize we were having such cold issues. Come on, give me quad channel. We had it before. Let's see what it booted up at. Hopefully it booted up with high memory. Hi, Dad. What's up, son? Hello from the suddenly jobless California. Yeah, I feel bad for a lot of slackers out there. But you're not alone. That's why I do this. Remember, you don't have to donate. But I do like a like and a subscribe. That helps a ton. Alright, so it looks like we're finally up and running. Problem is I want to limit our reboots. So what we're going to do... I'm going to have to pay really good attention to this. Because the last time, I think, is... Basically, we're just having massive cold issues. It looks like the probe might be broken. There's nothing worse than this, usually, because they make you go all crazy. Alright. That looks much better this time. So I'll keep that. Do an R5 run. What are you talking about? New R20 record? Oh, for 18 core. Yeah, I don't think I ended up accidentally killing my 18 core. I had a 7980XE that was pimp. But I tried using delid die. Or deleted, like a OC bracket and just caused, it ended up killing it. I got laid off before this COVID madness, so I'm used to it. Alright, Joe, what PC games do you play when you get the time? I'm into, like, shooter games. So, like, any of the Call of Duty games. I love car racing games, stuff like that. I'm more into, like, car racing and, like, shooting shit. Alright, so... Alright, I'm gonna be a little quiet on the stream right now. I'm gonna try to go through this. And see if we can start pushing it. I'm gonna jump right to 35. I want to start pushing cold, but... We have to be at, like, minus 100. So what I'm gonna do is... try to get it up there. But I have to pay really good attention to this cold. Alright, so we're at 4762. Nice. So we're about minus 50, which is good. We must have been like, maybe like 110. It's crazy. Ooh, you've been doing VR, huh? Yeah, I have one. I just have not really been playing with it lately. I have one. I have the newest, the one from Facebook. Can't remember it now. Let's see. So, yeah, that's what I was doing. So we're at 3,500 on mesh. We finally have quad channel working. I think our biggest issue is because we were actually too cold and the probe was telling us. So you've literally probably learned way too much for a stream. Let's see. So let's try... I'm going to jump it up to 5.1. And we'll go to 37. Because 37 was our top. I want to just try to want to improve on score, not go far. I think we should probably be pretty good with that. Nice. 48.70. Is that actually lower? Nope, that's way higher. Nice. So that's an improvement. I like seeing improvement. So we're at 37.51. Alright, that's good improvement. Let's go to our 20. Do a nice run, make sure everything's hot. The hell was that? I don't know if you guys... Oh, that's right. You guys are not on the thing. I gotta switch over. Hold on. What's up, Italy? By the way, I'm coming from Houston, Texas. However, I don't have my desktop on because of thunder and lightning. Yeah, I never want to deal with that. Thunder and lightning. Well, we get it here all the time because you're like our sister city. Houston's right across the Gulf. Let's see. All right, slackers. Let's see. We are slowly improving here. Let me try to mess with this. YouTube's been kind of hokey all day. Oh, look at that. I lost you guys. All right. So what are we at? We're at minus 50 still. We're getting there. So this is 5.1. 10.674. So we're improving. I think what we're going to do is just go with R15 right now, and I'm just going to start pushing it even harder. We're at 5.1. We'll go to 5.2. Okay, 5.2 is done. So let's... One of the things when a lot of the Rift S, that's what I was thinking of. One of the issues that I have is with the programs a lot is that sometimes it just messes up everything completely. So you want to be careful how much you change in the OS and try to figure out what issues it causes. Like, I'm not going to change any more. Oh, I probably will change voltage a little bit. I probably should raise the voltage just a little bit. Because a lot of the times with those software tools, if you start changing stuff like that, it just goes to crap right away. So now we're pushing about minus 70. So far the chip looks like it's doing much better than it was before. We're at 5.2 with 37 on the mesh. We're at maybe 1.3 volts, 2.25 on the input. Remember, the input's important. Nice, 10.747. So we're slowly improving here. Now let's go up again. So I'm going to open up CPU-Z. Go to formula drive. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to push to 1.4 volts. Because I don't know how long we're going to be able to go. Where the hell is it? Alright. Now we're going to set the 1.4. Hopefully this does not screw up the bench. Now I'm going to raise to 5.3. Now a lot of the times, oh yeah, see how it's stuck at 5.2? Sometimes you have to wait until it goes to 5.3. So you got to kind of go through and wait a little bit. A lot of times if you shut it down and go back in, sometimes it will change. So let's start pulling it down to minus 70. See, now we're at 5.3. I'm going to close that and we're going to do a nice run. Try to get down a little bit colder. Seems like I'm going to have to get some more LN2. Alright, we're gonna have to switch to the other tank. What are we at? 63 is not too bad. And you want to be careful, you don't want to go too cold. Alright, 1081, getting better. Alright, let's pick it up again. I'm gonna actually switch containers. While this is going on, I'm gonna get some more L2. Alright, so now we got some LN2, we can go a little bit. I'm out, slackers. Steven a Jeep. Check you later, broski. Catch me next time. We might do a stream tomorrow. We're doing a stream in the next couple days either way, so. Alright, what are we at? 60? Now, I like to use this thermos a little bit better. To be honest, I like the small ones the most. Because you need to be able to pour, like, a little bit at a time. And it gets pretty heavy with some of these big ones. Alright, so we're going to jump right to 5.4. Again, we're going to go CPU-Z. What are we at? Yeah, we're at 60. We're going to get down to 70. Right, so we're at 5.4. I want to get it colder. So if you're new to the stream, right now we're kind of half-assing it. We seem to have an issue with the probe and cold, so I'm just kind of running it. We're at 5.4 right now at minus about 75 degrees Celsius. Remember I said minus? So what we're going to do is we're going to try around minus 80. We really need cold for this to run, so. Try to go a little bit colder. Pot's handling it nice. Now that we know that the probe was shit. About minus 85. Ooh, 10917. So one of the things you got to be careful for, see how it's at minus 88 and it went up or went colder? You got to be careful how much you pour in there, because what will happen is if you're close to that cold bug and it goes up, you'll be absolutely screwed. All right, so that 5.4 is done. Let's try 5.5. All right, so that seems to be going. Let's push it up a little bit colder. We want to get to around maybe the minus 100 mark. So it looks like we're at 5.5 and we're looking pretty good right now. So let's see if we can get it up to minus 100. All right, where are we at? Minus 88. All right. So far, so good. Remember, that can change quickly, though. Just because we're doing good now doesn't mean it's going to do good later. All right, so we're close to minus 100. We're going to run it right there. Now, because we're not doing anything 3D, we might be able to get up to even as cold as minus 120. Interesting. $225. We're at 5.5. Maybe we need a little bit more volts. Oh, that's right. I forgot to put it at 1.4. Hopefully it sets and not breaks. Please don't mess up, please. All right, let's see. I think voltage adjustment is one problem with that actual utility, so let's see. Come on, suckers, we had 354 likes. We got 397 current viewers. Let's go. Come on, like and subscribe, man. Help support. That way we can do more of these all the time. Shit, it looks like the voltage is definitely not getting set. So, and I do not want to reboot. No. Oh, let's see if we can try to reboot without it hanging. Yeah, no, it's done. All right, let's try it again. Oh, I'm getting exhausted already. What are we on? We're on about 3 hours and 15 minutes. We're gonna heat up and try one more time. We'll try to go right to 5.5. Problem is I need to set the voltage higher and it's just not working. Wow. All right. I think we need to go hotter. All right, so it looks like we found exactly what the issue was. So we had probe issues first. The second part was that it looks like you cannot set voltage in the utility. So I'm going to have to end up setting the voltage higher in the BIOS and then just using it there. So what we're going to do is we're going to set it up to 1.4 instead of the 1.35 because it doesn't seem like I can adjust it any more than that. And then let's just see. This is probably going to be one of the last runs, and we'll probably kill the stream later in a little while. But yeah, so I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. Remember, you can like and subscribe. That's the best way to support the channel. You can also go to beardedhardware.com if you want to get a sweatshirt or a t-shirt. They're back ordered until about next week sometime. Hopefully I'll get the shirts early in the week, and I'm gonna end up doing a video just showing you guys how I make them, so that way you guys can see it, be a part of it, support the stream. Yeah, so alright, we might be dead. Doesn't seem too bad. Let's see if we can try to get a force boot. Am I losing you guys? Yeah, for some reason I keep dropping out, so I can't see anything you guys are writing. Damn it, YouTube! Is there a bug in the software? How does Splave do it? He probably has a different software, but a lot of the times what you can do is you can set it in the OS or in the BIOS first and then go down. He was supposed to send me like some utilities that he has, so he probably has a different utility than I did. When I asked ASRock, they said you could use XTU, and I just hate using XTU, so keep playing chicken and you'll grow feathers, Joe. Check supported on their CPU. No, this is definitely supported. I don't know, I think we're pretty much done. I'm gonna have to play around with this a little bit more. I need to get I think I need to get that utility from Splave first. Holy shit, it's Thermal Mike from Thermal Take. What's up, broski? Yeah, it's crazy that I wasn't able to see a lot of viewers' comments. YouTube's utility that I interface on live chat was totally hosed on my side, so. Oh, I think we're... Let's see if we can try to get this finished and then, Oh. I'm going to try to do one more run. 5.4 or 5.5 hasn't been bad, but we want to get higher. So, let's see. We want to change the voltage configuration because we had that limit. So, we're going to go 1425. Gives us a little bit of room. I'm going to save this so that way I can bench it real quick next time. Hopefully we don't have booting issues, but I think we solved the booting issues because of the damn probe. Let's save or what? Oh well, I'm not gonna go mess with it. I might have to reflash the BIOS too, because it looks like it's doing some weird shit. It's not letting me save. What CPU just got here? We're benching the 10980XE. If you just coming into the stream, it's the newest 18 core by Intel. We're just testing out. We've had a couple issues. One is this probe seems to be messed up. So I've been trying to get it to work. And to be honest, I think we're kind of almost done-ski. Yeah, I'm going to have to go through and I think I'm going to have to redo the OS or redo the BIOS and do a bunch of other stuff, but we're going to do that some other time. If you guys just, I plan on doing a stream within the next 2 days. I got some goodies. So for any of you guys, this is what's next. Let's put this on the right one for you. Hold on. So this is going to be the next stuff. We got the brand new unopened 3950X, and we got the crosshair impact. So I got Neos to go with this, but I also got a shit ton of thermal takes. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually go through and bin memory. So we're going to see the performance difference of like the G-Skills versus something that's a cheaper alternative, like the thermal take ones. And we're going to see what performance we can get out of them. So if you guys missed out on today's stream, we're going to have another stream going. And you're going to see a lot of the 10980XE. Once we figure out all the bugs and issues that we have right now, we're going to keep on revisiting this and going to do some more 3D and keep going with it. So just make sure you guys like and subscribe and you know about it. Remember, you can also find me on Twitter at BeardedHW. You can also find me on Instagram at Steponzi1. So STEPONZ1. But yeah, so guys, thanks for joining. I always appreciate it. Remember, like and subscribe. That's the best way you can support the stream. I know a lot of slackers out there are having a hard time with all this virus stuff going on. But make sure you stay safe. Keep your social distancing down. If you're going to get out, go ride an electric skateboard or electric bike. Get some exercise or something like that. And just stay away from people. People are dirty. You don't want to stay around them. So, but yeah, I'm really appreciative of you guys. This was a great stream. I think we broke a record for concurrent viewers for a long period of time. So that's exciting. So that means we're definitely going to be doing another stream soon. So remember, like I just showed you, the 3950X. We're going to be doing all sorts of memory binning. We're going to be doing some VGA stuff. Now that I've had some time off and now that we're doing all this Corona stuff, gives me a lot more time. So make sure you pay attention. I don't know. All I know is that I'm done. I'm going to go chill. You guys have a great day. Make sure you stay safe. Slacker out.